Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Dragon Ball Saiyan Knows Martial Arts. Chapter 31. Piccolo is a very hardworking and very qualified fighter. In the original work, if it weren't for the fact that his potential is not as good as Saiyan's, he is definitely better than Son Goku. Even the author of the original novel said that Piccolo was his first and only favorite character. Dongwu wanted to see that after the potential increased, the combat power of the gods also increased, and even the god level was improved. How strong will it be when you return to being a human in this state? Can you keep up with Saiyan? Brother, I want to go out and play. At this moment, Dong Yu came jumping over, holding Dong Wu's arm and shaking it. Dong Yu is now 8 years old. The older the little girl gets, the more naughty she becomes. He said he was going to play, but he didn't know where he was going to cause trouble. Thinking of Dong Yu and Dongla, Dongwu got a headache. Where are you going? Go to alien planets, Sister Lele said. Alien planets are fun. Dong Yu said longingly, but it frightened Dongwu into a cold sweat. This girl really doesn't know the heights of the world. Although her combat effectiveness is not low now, she has no combat experience at all. Moreover, who knows what kind of masters there are in the universe? Even Dongwu doesn't dare to say that he can survive the horizontal universe. Not to mention other things, how many masters appeared in Majin Buu's battle? Warcraft Goya, Demon King Dapora, these are not things Dongyu or even Dongla can handle. You are not allowed to go. If you dare to run away secretly, I will never allow you to go out. Dongwu is more serious than ever. This is really no joke. Seeing Dongwu's expression, Dongyu was also a little scared. In her memory, Dongwu had never lost his temper with her like this. Suddenly, Dongyu felt aggrieved. His mouth dropped, tears welling up in his eyes. But Dongwu will never be soft-hearted this time. It's better to cry for a while than to get into trouble. If something happened to Dongyu, he couldn't even think about whether he would go crazy. If you say you can't go, you can't go. I won't be soft-hearted even if you cry. After Dongwu finished speaking, he explained, "Girl, it's not that I don't want you to go, it's that I really can't go. Do you know how big universe is and how many masters it has? If anything happens to you, call your brother and your parents. What to do?" Dongyu pursed his lips and finally said nothing. Oh, this girl really can't be spoiled anymore. And Dongla, he dares to tease Dongyu, he really deserves a beating. Thinking of Dongla, Dongwu got even more headache. Since becoming Super Saiyan, he has become arrogant and always thinks that he is the best in the world. Dongla, come back to me immediately. Dongwu called Dongla and almost shouted. What's wrong, brother? I'm at the temple. Dongli's voice came from over there. I said, get back here right now. Dongwu was furious, almost going crazy. These two girls are really lawless. Look at Casio and Bobby, no one dares. Over there, Dongla heard Dongwu's angry voice and felt frightened. She has never seen Mr. Dongwu so majestic. Not daring to neglect, Dongla returned from the temple at almost full speed. When he got home, he saw Dong Yuejung standing next to Dongwu aggrievedly. Suddenly my heart skipped a beat, and I knew something had happened. Brother, Dongla called out weakly. Yeah, Dongwu had no expression on his face, and he hummed without saying anything. Brother, Dongli's voice sounded louder, and he used his coquettish skills again. Brother, you still know that I am your brother. Are you really capable? Do you think that if you transform into Super Saiyan, you will be invincible? Do you know how many masters there are in this universe? As far as I know, people like you, the combat power is not even ranked in the platoon. You still dared to persuade Yuyu to run to the universe with you. Are you going to piss me off? I just dote on you too much, and you are all lawless now. Dongwu's tone was very bad and he was very annoyed. Seeing Dongwu's face and tone of voice, Dongla immediately lowered his head and became speechless. Even Dongyu knew that his eldest brother was angry, so he lowered his head and did not dare to speak. Every one of them, if they don't practice hard, they just play crazy. And you, Dongla, are still wandering around in the Super League after 4 years. What have you been doing in the past few years? In the original work, it only took Son Gohan 1 year to go from Super Saiyan 1 to Super Saiyan 2, 1 year in the spiritual time room. Son Goku also only lasted 3 years. However, Dongla has made little progress in the past 4 years. This is not because Dongla has no potential, but because he has not practiced seriously at all and thinks that Super Saiyan is invincible. Just when Dongwu was still about to get angry, a voice suddenly came into Dongwu's ears. Dongwu, I am King Kai. Now you bring your younger brothers and sisters to my place. King Kai. Dongwu was stunned. Although this person or god was not very powerful, he was still very powerful in two martial arts. One is Kaioken and one is Spirit Bomb. Dongwu now has 60 million combat power. If he learns Kaioken, even if Dongla transforms into Super Saiyan, he will not be his opponent. Speaking of Super Saiyan's transformation, Dongwu was in tears. The energy of the mysterious Super Sailor fusion is becoming more and more intense. From what felt like just one step away a few years ago, now the strength has increased a lot and the energy is richer, but it still cannot transform into a Super Sailor. King of the realm, how should I get there? Dongwu actually knew that the gods could take him into the underworld and then pass through the snake path. But you can't say it, otherwise how can you explain it? Go to the god of heaven, and he will take you into the underworld. I have already greeted King Yama, and he will guide you here. King Kai said. Okay, I'll take them there right now. After Dongwu finished speaking, he called Casio and Poppy over, and then led a few people to the temple. Casio is now 13 years old, and Poppy is 10 years old, and their fighting ability is already very high. At least, he is infinitely taller than Dongyu. Dongyu is 8 years old and only has 30,000 combat power. When I was 4 years old, it was 3,500. 4 years later, with such good conditions, my combat power was only 3,000. Dongwu was so angry that he wanted to hit the wall. God, the king of the realm just sent a message asking us to go to him. So we need you to take us to the underworld. Dongwu said to the god. I know, Lord Kaio has told me. Come with me, King Kai said, taking Dongwu and others to the Yama Hall. So big. Dongyu stared at King Yama in stunned silence. Dongyu was surprised by the huge figure. Don't be rude, this is Mr. King Yama. Mr. King Yama, the king of the realm asked us to go to him, and you can give us some advice. Dongwu said politely. Well, I'll let the ghosts take you to the snake path. The end of the snake path is the residence of Lord Kaio. King Yama didn't delay at all, and directly asked Dongwu and his party to the snake path. It is indeed impossible for ordinary people to complete the 1 million kilometers of snake paths. But for Dongwu and his party, that doesn't matter. Wow, what a small planet. Standing at the end of the snake path, Dongyu looked at the miniature Kaio and said in a fuss. The other 3 little guys who saw Kaiwang for the first time were also surprised that there is such a small planet. Although this is my first time meeting Dongwu, I have seen the anime after all, so I won't be surprised. Let's go. Dongwu took the lead and flew into Kaio. Caiopus is not big, but its gravity is not small. It is 10 times that of Earth and is equivalent to planet Vegeta. Of course, this has no effect on the few people who often spend time in the gravity chamber. At most, it feels strange. You are here. From today on, you will practice here. Kaio was very direct, making Dongwu stunned. Why Kaio-sama? There is no peace in the universe. We just received transmissions from the 3 Kaiosi in the east, west and southeast. Almost all the galaxies are being destroyed. Coupled with the frozen demons in the northern galaxy, we need powerful warriors. The Kaio said solemnly and sadly. Road. The Kaio's responsibility is to maintain the operation of the universe and adjust the balance of the universe. And punish criminal saboteurs, just like Bojack did tens of thousands of years ago. But that can only be achieved by joining forces with the 4 realm kings, using the innate abilities brought by the divine position. But if it is just a realm king, its strength is not strong. There is a clan of frozen demons in the northern galaxy attacking astrological spheres. I know this, but in the 3 galaxies in the south, east and west, I haven't heard of any masters committing crimes during this time. Dongwu frowned, he really didn't know this. Because the original work mainly revolves around the progress of the protagonist, there is not much description of other galaxies. Unexpectedly, the situation in other galaxies is not much better than that of the northern galaxy. I don't know why, but many powerful super criminals have appeared in recent years. The frozen demon of the northern galaxy, the Saiyan of the Western Galaxy, the Kumu of the Eastern Galaxy, and the Flame Sparrow of the Southern Galaxy. They are all very strong, and they are constantly killing lives and attacking astrological planets. King Kai frowned when he mentioned this and was quite angry. In fact, King Kai is not helpless. For example, the warriors in the underworld are still very powerful. For example, the spare rib rice under King Kai of the West and Oliver, the best martial artist in the Northern Galaxy under King Kai. But the key point is that these are martial arts masters in the underworld, and they cannot participate in the affairs of the underworld without special circumstances. Even if you participate, you only have one day, and even traveling is not enough. Wait, you mean Saiyan? The first thing that comes to Dongwu's mind is Brawly. Saiyan can stir up trouble in the galaxy. Now only Brawly has this ability. As a result, King Kai confirmed Dongwu's conjecture. Yes, it is Saiyan. And it is the Super Saiyan in your Saiyan legend. His name is Brawly. He is extremely evil and full of destruction and killing. Is it really Brawly? Dongwu didn't look happy when his suspicion was confirmed. Instead, I feel inexplicable sadness. Saiyan's strongest warrior comes once in 1,000 years. Turned out to be an irrational lunatic. So, we need strong warriors to maintain the peace of the universe. Okay, I can definitely defeat the bad guys. Dongwu suddenly became excited and raised his little hand high. He. Okay, the little guy has a lot of fighting spirit. King Kai showed a hearty smile. Since the emergence of these super criminals, King Kai has searched the universe for good, powerful warriors who can also solve this crime. But it wasn't until Dongla transformed into Super Saiyan that King Kai noticed it by chance and saw hope. After several years of observation, he determined that this group of Saiyan warriors on Earth were indeed kind and had great potential. That's why they were summoned to Kaio. Your foundation is already very solid. The next training will be high-intensity intensive training in my 2 unique moves. King Kai knows a few people very well and trains them in a targeted manner. As for Dongwu, your situation is very special. I don't know how to train you, so you can only figure it out on your own. Or you can ask Lord Kai to give you some guidance, but now is not the time. King Kai said apologetically. It doesn't matter, then these little guys will get rid of Kaio-sama. I'll just explore on my own first. Dongwu also expressed understanding because his situation is indeed special. This has never happened in Saiyan's history. A super match is a super match, and a super match is a super match. There has never been a fusion of 2 forces. Well, okay. I'll teach you Kaioken and Spirit Bomb first, and you can explore on your own. Leave the 4 of them to me. Kaio nodded and started the training plan. Kaioken is actually similar to the transformation of Super Saiyan. Do you know that because it is artificially developed, it puts a lot of pressure on the body? The body is not strong enough and it is difficult to perform. The Spirit Bomb is very mysterious and involves a wide range of aspects. It even involves distance-free transmission in space. Kaioken Dongwu learned it quickly, but Spirit Bomb was never fully understood. In the original book, Son Goku learned Kaioken and Spirit Bomb in a few months, and also received a lot of intensive training. This made Dongwu doubt life. Is my understanding so poor? At the same time, he also understood why so many people had practiced with Kaioken, but only Son Goku could. It seems that it is not that the Kaio is stingy and refuses to teach, but that he simply cannot learn it. 7 years have passed in a hurry, and Dongwu's combat power has reached 100 million, but he still has not become a super sailor. Dongla also transformed into Super 2 5 years ago, but Super 3 has never had any clue. Dongwu suspected that Dongla might not be able to transform into Super 3. In the original work, Vegeta did not transform into Super 3. And Casio and Bobby are on the verge of transformation, with only one opportunity left. Casio has a combat power of 5 million, and Poppy has a combat power of 6 million. As for Dongyu, she only had 1 million, so Dongwu really had nothing to do with her. If you scold her, she will cry, backquote. If you don't scold her, she will try to torture Babulus and Gulegli. They are afraid of Dongyu when they see Dongyu, but Kaiwang is so small that they can't even hide. There is no place to hide. Therefore, for their own safety, the 2 guys now stay next to Dongwu all day long, acting like Dongwu's pets. Dongwu, I have asked the great Kaio about your situation. He has never seen such a situation, so he will let you go to the Great Kaio when he has the opportunity. However, let's take a look at the Earth first. Saiyan has come to the Earth. King Kai gloated. Saiyan came to Earth. Raditz. Dongwu didn't feel it yet, time passed so fast. Now that Son Goku is 24 years old, the time for Super Saiyan to break out is coming. But I haven't transformed into a Super Sailor yet, so I'm really worried. Raditz still came to Earth, and came with an extremely proud attitude. But as soon as he arrived on Earth, he was dumbfounded because there were already people standing around the spacecraft. It seems like these are Earth's warriors. Let me see how powerful they are. Raditz pressed the detector, and a set of data suddenly appeared on it. All combat power is 5. Sure enough, a low-level planet is a low-level planet, and even the warriors are just scum with a combat power of 5. Raditz said with disdain. Hey Tien Shinhan, is this person stupid? Klin looked at Raditz with an expression like a fool, and at the same time poked Tien Shinhan with his elbow. Huh, what do you mean, the lower creatures of the earth? Raditz's ears are very good. Although Klin's words are not loud, they are not quiet either. How could Raditz not hear them? He immediately became angry. In his opinion, the people on a low-level planet like the Earth are also low-level creatures. Shouldn't they be frightened when they see him? It seems that this low-level planet is too remote. I have never heard of Saiyan's power. Raditz thought of this possibility and prepared to teach these ignorant Earthlings a lesson. Kakarot is really useless, such a low-level planet was not conquered. At the same time, he also despised Son Goku. In his opinion, if a Saiyan baby is sent to a planet, either the baby will die in battle, or all the people on the planet will be killed. Now that everyone on Earth is alive and well, it means that Kakarot has died in the battle. In fact, it is common for Saiyan babies to die in battle, even 7 or 8 out of 10. However, the combat effectiveness of the Earth is too low. It would be a shame to die in battle on such a planet. In fact, under normal circumstances, Raditz's speculation is correct, but unfortunately Son Goku suffered a brain injury when he was a child, and his temper changed from violent to well-behaved. Moreover, there is Dongwu's family on Earth, so the situation Raditz mentioned cannot happen. Since Kakarot has not completed the mission, let me complete it. Let's kill all the people on Earth, starting with these warriors. Although they are said to be warriors, Raditz actually does not regard these people as warriors at all. With a combat power of only 5, is he considered a warrior? 99.9% of Saiyan babies are better than this. Kakarot is also an exception. Go to hell, you are a piece of trash with low combat effectiveness. Raditz casually threw a Qigong bomb at Klin and the others. TCH, you want to kill someone with this little attack power? Piccolo curled his lips in disdain and smashed the Qigong bomb into pieces. What? How is that possible? Raditz looked like he had seen a ghost. 5 points of combat power smashed his own Qigong bomb. Am I awake or am I dreaming? Just when Raditz was about to take action again, Son Goku flew over from a distance. Hey, what are you doing? There are so many people, just for this guy with more than 1,000 combat points. Son Goku said with a smile. Son Goku likes to fight, but he only likes to fight with people who are stronger than him or with evenly matched people. Raditz's combat power of more than 1,000 points really didn't interest him. Kakarot, you are still alive. Raditz felt like he was going crazy. Why was it completely different from what he thought? Oh, you actually know my name. Do you know me? Who are you? After hearing Raditz's words, Son Goku asked a lot of questions. His grandfather had told him when he was a child that he was Saiyan and had a name called Kakarot. Moreover, he has also seen Dongwu and others on Earth. However, Son Goku grew up on Earth and completely regarded himself as an Earthling. But at this moment, when I suddenly heard my alien name, I thought of a lot at once. Of course I know your name. You look exactly like your father, and I am your eldest brother, Raditz. Raditz said, revealing his hidden tail. T-tail, it's indeed Saiyan. Son Goku was startled. He was not the middle-class idiot who knew nothing in the original work. You are my brother. Then why did you come to Earth? Did you come to see me? Son Goku still hasn't gotten rid of his naivety, and he didn't even realize that Raditz came with bad intentions. You can say that, but now I'm very disappointed. Raditz was a little pretentious and really sounded like an elder. However, he is indeed Son Goku's eldest brother. The other warriors on Earth didn't speak. After all, Son Goku didn't speak either. Disappointed. What are you disappointed about? Son Goku didn't understand. What's there to be disappointed about? But at this time on Kaio planet, Dongwu, Kaio and others who saw this scene through Kaio were ready to watch the show. Ho ho ho. Kaio smiled unconsciously. This Raditz is going to be in trouble. Kaio knew Saiyan's temper very well, and he knew that Raditz would definitely ask Son Goku to kill all the people on Earth next. It's unreasonable not to get beaten for such a request. Dongwu also nodded in agreement. Having read the original work, he already knew what Raditz was going to say next. As long as Raditz dares to speak out, the Earth Warriors dare to teach him how to behave. Sure enough, what Raditz said was what Kaio thought. Kakarot, we are the fighting nation Saiyan. Our life is to attack the astrological planets and sell them at high prices. I sent you here just to kill all the people on Earth. But, what have you done for so many years? Why are the people on Earth still doing well? Raditz said angrily. What? Raditz's words immediately calmed everyone present, but they all laughed disdainfully. Not to mention Son Goku, even Dongwu's family is also Saiyan. They didn't conquer the Earth either. Otherwise, the Earth would have ceased to exist long ago. Humph, even Saiyan. I am also a Saiyan who grew up on the Earth. I will not destroy nor let anyone destroy the Earth. Son Goku refused righteously. But this angered Raditz, who decided that he must teach Earth and Kakarot a lesson. In this case, then you will die with the garbage of the Earth. Raditz threw the Qigong bomb angrily, this time with all his strength. Although Kakarot was born with low combat power, he is still a Saiyan after all and should be stronger than the Earthlings. Moreover, the combat power revealed during the flight just now was 1002, so it was given enough attention. Oh, it's so miserable. The king of Kai gloated. But Dongwu knew that Son Goku wouldn't kill anyone unless absolutely necessary, so he didn't think Raditz would be in such misery. It's just a pity that Raditz still only has this little fighting power. Logically speaking, Vegeta received his own guidance, and although he did not teach martial arts, he would still work hard to practice it. Then Nappa and Raditz who follow him will be somewhat stronger than the original. Now it seems that 1005 is still 1005, there is no change at all. Vegeta is really deep-minded. Does he want to secretly accumulate strength and defeat Frieza in one fell swoop? Dongwu thought about it secretly and felt that this was in line with Vegeta's character. Vegeta kills decisively, but has deep thoughts. More importantly, Vegeta was extremely arrogant and selfish before settling on Earth. To be honest, Raditz's combat power is not that strong. Frieza's men carry technological guns and basically have more than 1,000 combat power points. Even the vegetarians have 1,002. Raditz's fighting strength of 1,500 is nothing more than a mere pawn under Frieza. That's why he was despised by Nappa and Vegeta. After all, Saiyan's combat power is really weak. However, Raditz believed in the detector too much. That's why he appears unscrupulous. You are really weak. Son Goku curled his lips and let Raditz's Qigong bomb hit him. Raditz struck with all his strength, not even splashing water on Son Goku. Such a weak Saiyan, not even comparable to Gohan. Klin looked at Raditz's attack with disdain and disbelief at the same time. After all, they knew how powerful Saiyan was. Not to mention Super Saiyan Dongla, even the naughty Dong Yu had a combat power of 30,000 at the age of 7 years ago. With a fighting strength of 1,500, they had never seen such a weak Saiyan. That is to say, this power is too weak. He couldn't even look down on the dumplings. Dumpling now has a combat power of nearly 20,000, while Klin and Tien Shinhan both have a combat power of 30,000. As for Son Goku and Piccolo, they are basically around 1 million. How is that possible? Why is there nothing wrong with Kakarot? The Earth Warrior thought Raditz was weak, but he himself did not realize this. Seeing that Son Goku was okay despite being attacked by him, he immediately yelled angrily. On his detector, Son Goku only has a fighting strength of 1,002. How could this kind of fighting power be able to withstand his own attack? Unfortunately, he didn't know that people on Earth can suppress chi. The fighting power he saw was all false. Okay Goku, is such a weak Saiyan really your brother? Krillin curled his lips and asked. At first, They felt the evil aura from afar, so they gathered at the landing site to prepare to stop the evil universe people. But I didn't expect that this universe person turned out to be Son Goku's brother, and he was so weak. If he had known it, he wouldn't have come. He knows my name, so it shouldn't be wrong. Son Goku also felt that Raditz, as his brother, was so weak and rarely helpless. But that's not to doubt Raditz's identity. After all, not many people know his name Saiyan. Shut up, you low-level creatures, how dare you look down on Uncle Raditz. Raditz was angry. As a Saiyan warrior, I watched these earthlings, one week on the left and the other week on the right, demeaning themselves unscrupulously. It would be strange not to feel angry in my heart. What's more, he has always been despised by Nappa and Vegeta because of his weak fighting ability. His fighting ability is not as good as the two of them, and his status is not as high as the two of them, so he naturally tolerates it. But what is the Earth? A low-level planet among low-level planets has an average combat power of only 1. He couldn't bear to be despised by planet people of this level. I don't believe you are better at fighting than me, so just go to hell. Angry, Raditz fired Qigong bombs continuously. It was as if he wanted to vent the anger in his heart along with the Qigong bombs. Boom boom boom. Continuous explosions sounded, and dust and smoke filled the area. The bright Qigong bombs destroyed the surrounding ground, and craters appeared one after another as if they were bombed by missiles. The momentum is very strong, and the light, shadow and sound effects are also good. This Raditz is going to be hit again. Dongwu from Kaiwang also gloated. I guess Raditz is doubting life. Kaio rarely said a truly humorous sentence. The dust and smoke fell, but the effect was unsatisfactory. Not to mention dead, not even a single person was injured. How is this possible? Raditz felt that he must not have woken up, and he really began to doubt his life. Is it because I can't keep up with the times? Or is the world changing too fast? Although he is not ranked high in the universe, it is very difficult not to transform into a gorilla when facing ordinary mid to high-level planets. But facing low-level planets, it is still invincible. How come there are such powerful people on the lowest planet like Earth? Hey, Son Goku's brother. Piccolo was not polite at all, and said directly, your combat power of 1,500, if it is real combat power, is nothing on Earth. Have you seen your brother? Son Goku is also Kakarot. He has a combat power of 1.1 million. Even the weakest dumpling here has a combat power of 20,000. With your power, anyone can kill you. Piccolo didn't save any face for Raditz. Although what he said was the truth, it was also the most irritating. But Raditz couldn't get angry. 1.1 million combat power. Is this still a useless Saiyan who was born with only 2 combat points? If Son Goku hadn't been standing in front of him, and if someone else had said it, he wouldn't have believed it. Someone must have made a joke to him. You know, King Vegeta, who is known as the genius among Saiyans, only has a combat strength of 20,000. Vegeta must have hidden his strength, see chapter 13 for details. Nappa, who is a Saiyan noble, only has 6,000. Even in the history of Saiyan, there has never been a legend of a Saiyan with a combat power of millions except Xuanchao. However, Son Goku's flat reaction and lack of any rebuttal told him that what this Namek man said was true. What frightened him even more was that the ones with the lowest combat power here were all 20,000, on par with Vegeta. How to fight this? You are just a low-level planet, how can you have such a high combat effectiveness? Why? Raditz shouted in a broken voice, somewhat hysterically unwilling. He is a warrior of the fighting nation Saiyan. Although he was born as an intermediate warrior, he should be much stronger than ordinary beings. In fact, he is indeed stronger than most life forms in the universe, but in front of a low-level planet like the Earth, his combat power seems ridiculous. He was unwilling to give in. He felt that the whole world had deceived him and abandoned him. Why? Because we are practicing all the time, we constantly surpass ourselves and exceed our limits. Even if we are born with low combat effectiveness, even if our limits are very low. But we are constantly surpassing, so we are better than you. Because we work 100 times 1,000 times more than you efforts. Klin was a little excited when he said this. He and Tien Shinhan also worked hard and always wanted to follow in Son Goku's footsteps. At the beginning, the gap was not big, but later it became farther and farther. Until God told them that this is the gap between talent and potential. But they did not give up and continued to surpass themselves and exceed their limits. And he practiced the martial arts passed down by Dongwu crazily, so he gained his current strength. They are not as good as Son Goku and Piccolo, but their confidence is no worse than others. Because they were working hard, they didn't give up. Yes, although the potential of the Earth people is not as good as that of Saiyan, they do work hard. They have surpassed their own limits and can be said to be true martial artists. Dongwu agreed with Klin's statement, which is why he is optimistic about the Earth warriors. Reason: never give up, this is their belief. Work hard, to practice. Raditz was confused. He didn't know what he was thinking. He thought about a lot and recalled the past. Finally, he left in despair, even crushing the detector. I understand. Next time, the next time I come to Earth, I will definitely defeat all of you. Before Raditz left, he solemnly made a promise. Even Dongwu and Kaio didn't expect that the Earth Warrior's words would actually arouse Raditz's fighting spirit. You know, Raditz has already lost his fighting spirit because he was suppressed by Nappa and Vegeta. Raditz left without any nostalgia or regret. He found his own way and was filled with fighting spirit. But Vegeta and Nappa, who were far away on the alien planet, were not at peace. Nappa, did you hear that just now? The Kakarot on Earth actually has a fighting strength of 1.1 million. Vegeta gritted his teeth and narrowed his eyes. I heard it, but it was probably the people on Earth who deceived Raditz, right? Nappa said nonchalantly. Who is Kakarot? A famous waste among Saiyan. He was born with only 2 points of combat power. In hundreds of years, there has never been a Saiyan baby with such low combat effectiveness. Such trash has a combat power of 1.1 million. Nappa was the first to not believe it. As a Saiyan noble himself, he was born a high-ranking Saiyan. Now it only has a few thousand fighting power, and a waste has 1.1 million, how can he believe it? Not to mention Nappa, even a genius like Vegeta only has 20,000 combat power now. Of course, this is the result of Vegeta hiding his fighting power. Because when Vegeta was 5 years old, he already had a fighting strength of 22,000 due to his recovery from being injured by Dongla. But Nappa didn't know that in his mind, no Saiyan could surpass Vegeta. Therefore, he didn't believe it at all. Whether it is or not, I want to go to Earth and see. Nappa didn't believe it, but Vegeta remembered the 2 Saiyans he met more than 20 years ago. Vegeta, who was 5 years old at the time, was abused. More than 20 years have passed, and Vegeta's strength has grown rapidly. He believed that he would be no worse than any Saiyan, including the 2 people in front of him. He has been searching and inquiring about these 2 people for these years, but there has been no news. This time he accidentally heard about Kakarot's fighting power, which reminded him of the 2 Saiyans. Although this was just a hunch, Vegeta decided to take a look. Okay Vegeta, since you want to go, let's go, Nappa said, touching his bald head. Nappa has always been obedient to Vegeta. He will do whatever Vegeta says and go wherever Vegeta tells him to go. Okay, let's go now. Vegeta threw down the food in his hand and boarded the starship with Nappa directly, heading for the Earth. Vegeta's spaceship is still relatively fast, and it still takes about a year to reach Earth. 2 flowers bloomed, 1 each. Vegeta went to the Earth, and Dongwu also completed his training at Kaio. Lele, Yuyu, Casio and Bobby should go back to Earth first. I have to stay here for a while if I have something to do. Dongwu said to the 4 younger brothers and sisters. Nowadays, these people are no longer little guys. Dongla is actually the same age as Dongwu, but they are only half a year apart. Now she is 29 years old. In her previous life in China, she would have been a leftover old girl, and her family would be very worried. But this is the world of Dragon Ball, and this big girl is still like a child. Casio is also 21 years old, Poppy is 18 years old, and Dongyu is 16 years old. Although Casio and Poppy have worked hard, they are still 1 step away from being able to transform into Super Saiyan. They are still far behind Son Gohan. Do Saiyans who are mixed with Earth really have such a big advantage? Sometimes Dongwu suspects that among the mixed-race Saiyans in the original work, it would be the most difficult for them to transform into Super Saiyan Son Gohan, and they were only 6 or 7 years old. As for Trunks and Son Goten, they transformed naturally at the age of 4 or 5 without any effort at all. However, Dongla, the only one among them who transformed into Super Saiyan, also transformed at the age of 17. Of course, Casio and Bobby have very solid foundations and very high basic combat effectiveness. I believe that if I practice in the gravity chamber for a while, I will become stronger and my transformation into Super Saiyan will not be an obstacle. Oh, I can finally go home. Several people suddenly shouted, extremely happy. Come to think of it, I came to Kaio when I was little and stayed there for several years. The key is that Kaioshing is still small and has no place to play. It's really not easy for a few people to last for so long. I don't know how the king of Kai survived for tens of thousands of years without going crazy. When I heard that I could go home, I was naturally excited. I have already told the god of earth that he will take you back. The king of Kai said and asked several people to leave along the snake path. As for Dongwu, he will take him to the Great Realm King. The king of the Great Realm is located in TianYTN, a very high level outside of heaven. The controller of the Great Kaio is the Great Kaio. Actually, I think the Great Kaio is very similar to Dr. Gallo. When King Kai took Dongwu to the Great Kaio, the king was wearing fashionable clothes and dancing to music. Lord Kaio, I have brought Dongwu. King Kai said to the fashionable old man, Kaio. Oh, are you here already? The Great Realm King, who was in high spirits, stopped after hearing this. The Great Realm King looked at Dongwu and nodded, then frowned and shook his head, as if there was something he couldn't understand. Dongwu, right, show your fusion power and let me see. The king of the realm said. Okay, Great Kaio-sama, please give me some advice. Dongwu directly showed his power in front of the Great Kaio. Dongwu still has great confidence in the Great Realm King. Because according to legend, the Great Kaio already existed at the beginning of the universe. If he didn't know it, few people would know it. After the Great Realm King saw Dongwu's power, his eyes almost popped out. What? How is it possible? God, divine power. How can a mortal possess divine power? The Great Kaio directly transformed into the Roaring Emperor and almost overturned the Great Kaio's palace. Divine power, that is the power that only high-level gods have. Even Kaioin only has the divine rank, divine position, and divine talent. He has never possessed divine power. How can a mortal possess divine power? The Great Kaioin is a very advanced god among gods. Gods naturally possess divine power. However, even his divine power is lagging behind Dongwu. This is the level of divine power only available to Supreme Kai and gods of destruction. The king of Kai almost died of fright. He was really shocked, because in the Dragon Ball universe, no mortal has ever truly had Supreme Kai level divine power. Even the Super Saiyan god at the beginning has divine power that is at most equal to that of the Dai Kaio, or even worse. However, Dongwu actually possesses divine power at the level of Supreme Kai and gods of destruction. This is the top divine power in the universe. Although there is a big difference in strength between gods of destruction and Supreme Kai, they have the same god status and the same level of divine power. The only difference is the strength and destructive power. Impossible, impossible. The Great Realm King scratched his head and almost pulled off his beard. As for the Kaio next to him, they were all shocked and dumbfounded. In the world of Dragon Ball, mortals may be more powerful than gods, but they absolutely cannot become gods. Even the so-called Super Saiyan god is not a god, but has some of the divine power and properties of a god. However, Dongwu completely broke this taboo and possessed the power of the top gods in a mortal body. I can't give you any guidance. Your level of divine power is still higher than mine, so you can only figure it out on your own. The Great Realm King sighed, feeling quite a bit desolate like a hero in his twilight years. Dongwu didn't speak, but he was also a little surprised. In the Dragon Ball world, even if it disgusts him, no one becomes a god. The so-called Super Saiyan god is just a person with a little bit of divinity who appears by gathering the power of multiple Saiyan fusions. In addition to increased strength, neither the lifespan nor the power of God. Dongwu never knew that the power of Super Saiyan and Chuan Super Saiyan, fused by the Tiangong acupoint, would have divine characteristics. Thank you very much, Lord King of the Realm. Dongwu said to the King of the Great Realm. You're welcome, just leave with King Kai. The Great Realm King waved his hand to let Dongwu and King Kai leave, while he frowned and frowned. After Dongwu and King Kai left, the King of Kai hurriedly left the King of Kai. This matter must be reported to Supreme Kai-sama, so as not to cause any accidents. The great Kaio hurried to Supreme Kai, while Dongwu followed King Kai back to Kaio. Then he said goodbye and left, returning to Earth. But Dongwu didn't know that the Supreme Kai world was in trouble at this moment. The person who reacted most violently was not Supreme Kai Shin, but Supreme Kai attendant Jabbit. He takes the difference between gods and humans very seriously. In the original work, he feels good about himself and is somewhat arrogant as a god. It's a pity that in the subsequent series of blows, some of them lost their pride, and finally merged with Supreme Kai to become the new god of Gebet. Great King of the Realm, do you think a mortal dares to steal the power of a god? JB asked loudly. Please pay attention to your wording, Lord Gebet. Dongwu is the divine power that he cultivated himself, not the so-called theft. The great realm king's face became gloomy. As one of the oldest gods in this universe, he appeared earlier than today's Supreme Kai Shin. Moreover, his status and divine power are no lower than those of Jabbit. Naturally, he was not very happy when faced with Jabbit's questioning. Okay, Jabbit, now is not the time to discuss this. Instead, think about how to face this Saiyan Dongwu. Shin also had a headache. Logically speaking, it would be easiest to kill a mortal with divine power. But Supreme Kai is in charge of creating planets and maintaining the balance of the universe. He kills people at every turn, and there is no sign of hunger. Shin really can't do that. Sir Supreme Kai, you cannot stay with someone who steals divine power in a mortal body. Jabbit is a solid supporter of the orthodox god and will never allow anyone to threaten the status of god. That's enough, Jabbit. If you have the ability, go and find Dongwu in the next session. The King of Realms really felt fed up and was disgusted by this Jabbit. What is this special code? Gods and mortals who work all day long always think you are great. If it weren't for his natural responsibilities, the great realm king would have long wanted to teach this Jabbit a lesson. It is because of the existence of this Jabbit that the King of Kai has not been to the Supreme Kai world for tens of thousands of years. Bother. To be honest, not only is the power of the great Kaio far greater than that of Gebet, but the power of Supreme Kai is even worse than him. If he really wanted to teach Jabbit a lesson, he would have no choice but to admit that he was unlucky. However, Supreme Kai is the boss of Daikaiwang, so he cannot do this. Therefore, just let Jabbit solve it himself. Aren't you awesome? Do you think you are great? Then go yourself. That's what the great realm king thought. Anyway, with Dongwu's current strength, plus 20 times Kaioken, it will definitely kill Jabbit. If you can't teach him a lesson yourself, it would be nice to find someone else. Thinking of this, the great realm king smiled happily. Humph, I'll go. I don't believe how powerful a mortal can be. Jabbit snorted, and instant transmission came to the King Kai planet. Jabbit has instant transmission ability, which is more advanced than Son Goku's. This is an innate magical power that does not require feeling ki to move like Son Goku. Before East King Kai could stop him, Jabbit had already left the Supreme Kai world. But when Jabbit came to Kaiwang, Dongwu had already left. Where is Saiyan Dongwu? Jabbit asked Kaio Dao. He is a Saiyan living on the earth. You can just go directly to the earth. King Kai shrugged his shoulders and showed Jabbit the way as if it had nothing to do with him. Jabbit felt that King Kai's tone was not very respectful, and he felt a little unhappy. But Jabbit, who was eager to find Dongwu, left quickly. On the earth side, Dongwu had just been brought back by the gods, and he felt a powerful aura before he could even get down to the temple. This aura is very strong, almost at the level of Super Sai. There is also a sacred charm in the breath, similar to that of the great Kaio. Not only Dongwu, but the gods also felt it. Although the gods are the lowest level of gods, they are still gods after all. Moreover, the reason why the gods were hesitant about the fruit of the spirit tree was that their divine rank was already equivalent to that of a Kaio. How could he not feel the aura of a high-level god? There should be no gods coming to the earth during this period. If it's not the great realm king, who could it be? Dongwu was a little confused. This did not appear in the original work. However, Dongwu didn't care much about the intensity of this force. Not to mention Dongla, who is already in Super 2 state, even with Supreme Kai himself, he can make the opponent full of teeth. If the other party comes with good intentions, that is naturally the best. If it was malicious, then Dongwu could only tell him how deep the water on the earth is. God of the earth, tell me where Dongwu is. Jabbit looked at the god arrogantly and asked in a very rude tone. Hey, what kind of god is this? He's so arrogant. I'm Dongwu, what's the matter? Dongwu was very unhappy when he heard JB's tone, and he was arrogant and self-righteous. The most important thing is that he doesn't have any great skills yet. Relying on his status as a god, he thinks he is great. Are you Dongwu, the Saiyan who stole divine power in a mortal body? Jabbit looked at Dongwu angrily. Mortal, steal, god. Dongwu repeated a few words with strong disdain and dissatisfaction in his tone. This is Dongwu's only disgusting character in the Justice Camp in the Dragon Ball world. Although it changed a bit later, the mentality of God's superiority still existed until he merged with East King Kaioshin and became the God Jabbit. Today I will show you how I, a mortal, can defeat you. Let you know that your so-called God is nothing special. Dongwu did not suppress his emotions and directly attacked Jabbit. Not only that, Dongwu also launched an attack the moment he finished speaking. Jabbit's strength is pretty good, and he is almost as strong as a Super Saiyan, a little stronger than Frieza. But now Dongwu's basic combat power is 100 million, so JB doesn't dare to neglect this punch. After all, as a god, his sensory sensitivity is still very high. Snapped Dongwu's fist and Jabbit's arm. This is a confrontation of strength. I have to say that Jabbit's strength is pretty good. At least it is higher than Dongwu's normal combat power, and it is quite a lot. It should have a combat power of about 200 million. This time, Dongwu was at a disadvantage and was bounced away. It is indeed a divine power. Although the divine power still has flaws, it has indeed reached the level of Supreme Kai's divine power. Jabbit confirmed that Dongwu's chi was indeed a divine power. But compared to Supreme Kai's flawless divine power, Dongwu's divine power still has some flaws and cannot reach perfection. However, the level of divine power is indeed that of Supreme Kai. It's a pity that mortals are mortals, they are not strong enough, and their divine power is not perfect. Really, just now I was just testing, and next I will show my true strength. Let you, a self-righteous god, know that all your arrogance is nothing in my eyes. Dongwu's basic combat power is indeed only 100 million, but don't forget that Dongwu can Kaioken, and the maximum multiplier is 30 times. As long as it doesn't exceed 30 times, Dongwu's body can bear it. To be honest, Dongwu is really disgusted with this Jabbit. In the world of Dragon Ball, Dongwu feels that many bad guys are more comfortable than Jabbit. After all, the bad guys can just be eliminated, but Jabbit is not bad, on the contrary, he is very kind. But he is just too arrogant and makes people uncomfortable. Therefore, Dongwu decided to torture him again to make his memory long and suppress his arrogance. Of course, you can't really beat him to death. After all, Jabbit is not a bad guy. Hehe. Dongwu instantly mobilized 10 times the Kaioken, and scarlet aura filled his body. This is called Kaioken, and it's a unique move created by King Kai. I can use it up to 30 times more effectively, and now it's 10 times more useful. Dongwu looked at Jabbit teasingly. Dongwu under the 10 times Kaioken was about 5 times the combat power of Jabbit. Jabbit instantly felt the heavy pressure. Bang! Jabbit flew out, his face instantly turned pale. One punch, just one punch, injured Jabbit. It is also Jabbit who, as a god, is physically powerful. If it were an ordinary person, with a 5-fold difference in combat effectiveness, they would lose their combat effectiveness even if they were not killed by one punch. Today I will tell you that no matter whether it is a god or a human being, there is no other life. There may be high and low levels, and all lives should be respected. And your arrogance and your own insignificant combat power are simply a joke. Bang bang bang. Dongwu hit Jabbit while fighting. Jabbit had no resistance at all in the hands of Dongwu who used Kaioken. But one thing must be admitted, God's body is indeed very powerful. Although Dongwu grasps the strength, normal life should be dying long ago. However, although Jabbit was seriously injured, he still had strong vitality. At the beginning, Majin Buu failed to directly kill Supreme Kai, but absorbed and digested them, allowing Supreme Kai to die. This is the advantage of the divine body. However, it was frustrating to be beaten like this all the time, and JB was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. "Mortal, how dare you harm a god?" Jabbit shouted angrily, feeling very embarrassed at the same time. He was so arrogant just now, but now he is being beaten like a dog. Anyone who wants to lose face will be embarrassed. Of course, more anger. Return to a mortal. Return to a god. Today I will beat you until you can't take care of yourself, and let you, a god, see that a mortal can be stronger than a god. Dongwu increased his strength by 3 points, but he couldn't be beaten to death anyway. Bang 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 bang. Jabbit was beaten back and forth like a ping-pong ball. He was bleeding and disfigured in an instant. It was so miserable. What a powerful force, Jabbit is no match for him. Supreme Kai Ah Shin was also a little surprised. Dongwu's power is really amazing among mortals. The Great Realm King knew it already and just smiled and shook his head. Jabbit paid the price for his defiance and hopes to learn from it in the future. Of course, he didn't want Jabbit to be beaten to death, so he was always ready to send a message to Dongwu. But seeing that Dongwu had no murderous intentions, I felt relieved. It's so surprising that such power exists among mortals. Although Supreme Kai felt surprised, he was not too surprised. After all, there is still a big gap between this power and him. Although Dongwu's power is good, the strongest one now is his sister Dongla, who is at the peak of the second level of Super Saiyan and has a combat power of close to 80 billion. The king of the realm learned about Dongli's fighting power from King Kai, and said leisurely to Supreme Kai at this moment. "What, you said 80 billion? Supreme Kai was really surprised now, because this person's combat power was much higher than him. From the original Majin Buu chapter, it can be inferred that the power of Supreme Kai is about the same as the second level of Super Saiyan. Because he mentioned that Supreme Kai can easily kill Frieza with one finger, and it made Son Goku feel that it is not easy to defeat Supreme Kai. You must know that Son Goku had already transformed into Super Saiyan 3 at that time, so Supreme Kai, which he felt required a lot of effort, was naturally not too weak. However, the average Super 2 has a combat power of about 50 billion, and East King Kai is about the same level, or a little lower. 80 billion, already more than East King Kai Ah Shin. That's right, it's 80 billion. The king of the realm said. In fact, there was one thing he didn't say, which was that Dongli's strength was still growing. It's really amazing. It's amazing that a mortal's physique can be so powerful. Now, the chaos in the universe can be calmed down a lot. Although East King Kai was surprised, he was not jealous. Although he is a young Supreme Kai, he still has the magnanimity of being a creator god. If you are interested, you can look up the meaning of Supreme Kai, and the Supreme Kai in Dragon Ball is also responsible for creating planets. King Kai cultivates them so that they can contribute to the peace of the universe. The king of the realm quite agrees with King Kai's approach. The strength of the great realm king has always been a mystery. As one of the oldest gods, he doesn't take many actions. The only event in the original work was when Higashi Kaio competed with Son Goku in speed, but was crushed by the Great Kaio. You must know that although Son Goku had not yet transformed into Super 2 at that time, he had been Super 1 at full power for a long time. Although speed does not necessarily represent strength, judging from his subsequent performance, he was much stronger than Son Goku at the time. In other words, it is at least a Super second level. However, the Great Realm King is very mysterious and basically doesn't care about mortal matters. Okay, let Dongwu stop. Jabbit is already injured, let him come back. Supreme Kai nodded and thought it was almost done, so he sent a message to Dongwu and Jabbit to tell them to stop. Jabbit left with wounds all over his body, and his heart was full of grief, anger and humiliation. But what can be done? If you can't beat him and still show off, it's good if you don't die. Dongwu, now you are strong enough to defeat Frieza. I hope you can kill Frieza and restore peace to the Northern Galaxy. King Kai contacted Dongwu, because Frieza has made too much trouble in recent years, and there have been many planets disappeared, and more planets were conquered and killed. King Kai was also anxious, so he wanted Dongwu to quickly calm down Frieza. King Kai-sama, wait another year, I need another year to summarize. If Frieza is not dead after 1 year and is still destroying the universe, I will personally kill Frieza and destroy the Frozen Demon Clan. Dongwu knew that 1 year later Son Goku would transform into Super Saiyan and defeat Frieza. He didn't want to disrupt the path of Son Goku and all Earth warriors for his own reasons. However, Dongwu didn't say die. Although in the original work, Son Goku transformed into Super Saiyan at the last minute. But today's Dragon Ball world, especially the Earth, has changed a lot, and he is not sure whether the plot will be the same as the original. So he will follow when the time comes. If Son Goku cannot defeat Frieza at the last moment, he will personally take action and kill Frieza. Today, Dongwu no longer cares about Frieza and the Frozen Demon clan. Whether it's Frieza, Cooler or King Cold, Dongwu can handle them all with ease. Okay, I don't care about this year anyway. King Kai didn't force it, and more importantly, Frieza's attack on the astrological sphere has been very slow recently. Without taking action himself, it would be difficult to achieve an absolute crushing massacre with the help of his subordinates who were not good at fighting. On the other side, Jabat returned to the Supreme Kai world. After using his healing power to recover from his injuries, he was questioned by Supreme Kai. What do you think of that Dongwu? How strong is it? Back to Lord Supreme Kai, that mortal is not very powerful in his own right. But using King Kai's Kaioken can increase the power up to 30 times. I am no match for that, Jabat replied. Every time he thought of this incident, Jabat felt endless humiliation. He couldn't bear that a mere mortal dared to blaspheme the gods. However, he is indeed no match for Dongwu, so he can only keep it in his heart. I know this. What I want to ask is his divine power. What's going on? Supreme Kai Shin doesn't care about Dongwu's combat power. What he cares about is Dongwu's divine power. This is the first person to develop divine power on his own since the birth of the universe. Even the Super Saiyan God's so-called divine power only possesses the characteristics of a small part of the divine power. It's not considered a divine power at all. And if Dongwu really cultivates divine power on his own, it means that mortals can become gods through cultivation. This is definitely not a trivial matter. Back to Supreme Kai-sama, Dongwu does have divine power, and the level of divine power is very high. Such as Super Saiyan and fusion that transmits the power of Super Saiyan, but it is definitely not just the fusion of two powers but also other mysterious things. I can't tell, Jabat replied honestly. Is that so? It seems that there is a chance to meet this Saiyan named Dongwu. Supreme Kai frowned and thought for a while, then shook his head and smiled. What happened to mortals becoming gods? The role of Supreme Kai is to create the planet and guide the development and evolution of life in the universe. If someone in the universe became a god, it wouldn't be a bad thing for him. In fact, not only Supreme Kai, but also the Great King is also confused. There is even an old guy in a divine sword in the Supreme Kai world who is also paying attention to this matter. But this has nothing to do with Dongwu, because he has no idea that so many people are paying attention to him now. No matter how I live my life, I still have to live my life. I worry about my younger brothers and sisters every day. Mom and Dad have also gone to the universe to experience in the past few years. Judging from the messages, they haven't been back for 4 or 5 years. Now he has to worry about everything about this family. Casio and Poppy are not too young anymore. They are like boring gourds all day long, and they don't even talk about finding a girlfriend. Dongwu is worried. Casio is already 21, and Poppy is 18 years old. However, these two guys only cultivate and eat. The last time I asked them when they were going to find a girlfriend, it turned out that the two fools had no plans in this regard, which made Dongwu very angry. Of course, I was also worried. But Dongla and Dongyu are now pursued by many people. Dongwu was even more worried that sometimes he couldn't sleep well, for fear of being cheated by some idiot. After taking care of him for so many years, how can he not feel bad about raising him so big? I am afraid of meeting a bad man and my sister will be wronged. Moreover, Yuyu is too young, only 16 years old. How can we fall in love? Sure enough, the Chinese saying is so true. If you have a son, any daughter you see will look like your daughter-in-law. If you have a daughter, any boy will look like a bad guy. Dongwu covered his face, it really seemed like this. Dongwu is the elder brother, but he has basically been in charge of a few guys for so many years, and he is almost like half a father. Brother, let me tell you a secret. Don't tell anyone else. Dongwu was worried, and the little guy Dongyu approached Dongwu mysteriously, looking like something big had happened. This made Dongwu curious. What secrets could Xiao Lele know? You tell me. Second brother is in love. Dongyu looked like I was awesome, waiting for Dongwu to praise her. Are you serious? Dongwu's first reaction was disbelief, followed by surprise. Cassio's elm-headed mind actually enlightened. Do you know how to find a girlfriend? This is really happy for Dongwu. Really, that sister's name is Lan Qi, and she's so beautiful. Let me tell you. Dongyu seemed to know everything and muttered a lot. Well, not bad, not bad. Wait, what do you think the girl's name is? Lan Qi. Dongwu was happy at first, but suddenly he was stunned. It can't be her, right? Yes, my name is Lan Qi. I followed my second brother secretly and heard it with my own ears. Dongyu said proudly. If your second brother finds out, he will definitely beat you up for following your second brother. Dongwu laughed dumbly. This girl just doesn't know how to behave. But when it comes to Lan Qi, Dongwu's first reaction is the Lan Qi who can transform when she sneezes in the original work. I don't know if it's the same person, or just the same name. However, regardless of whether it is true or not, it is a happy event for Cassio to find a girlfriend. In fact, Lan Qi in the original work is also a quite tragic woman. She fell in love with Tian Xinhan, but they did not get together in the end. Always single. Dongwu has no objection to Cassio asking Lan Qi to be his girlfriend. You need to be examined carefully when you come back. You dared to hide it from me. Although Dongwu said it as if he was angry, anyone could spot the joy in his tone and the smile on his face. When your second brother comes back later, he comes to see me. After Dongwu finished speaking, he left calmly, some of them even humming a little tune. A little bit, hum. Seeing Dongwu's proud look, Dongyu stuck out her tongue and made a face, and hummed to express her dissatisfaction. He said that Cao Cao had arrived. Just as he was talking about Cassio and Lan Qi, Cassio came back with Lan Qi. Saiyan is very direct with his partners, and he will take them away as soon as he gets along well with them. In the original work, Son Goku and Chi-Chi, Vegeta and Bulma are all quite straightforward. To be honest, if Lan Qi was really the one in the original work, she would be much older than Cassio, and possibly a bit older than Dongwu. But Cassio didn't mind, and Dongwu didn't mind having such a younger sibling either. Brother, we're back. Cassio hugged Lan Qi and flew down from the sky. Very good, I understand now. Dongwu said to Cassio teasingly. Cassio felt a little embarrassed and scratched his head. Lan Qi is also a bit shy and a bit reserved behind Cassio. Dongwu looked at the blue-haired Lan Qi and instantly knew that this was the Lan Qi who could transform when she sneezed in the original novel. The characters in Dragon Ball are really weird sometimes. The change in sneezing's personality can be said to be a split personality or dual personality. But when Lan Qi sneezes, not only does her personality change, but her hair color also changes. This is Lan Qi, don't worry, this kid will bully your elder brother to make the decision for you from now on. Dongwu smiled. Lan Qi in the blue-haired state is definitely a good wife and mother, and she is an absolute queen in the yellow-haired state. Dongwu felt that the two of them were quite a match. Cassio is a bit dull, while Lan Qi is virtuous or flamboyant, and both of them get along well with each other. Thank you, brother, Cassio is very good to me. Lan Qi bowed to Dongwu with some embarrassment, and then said shyly. Dongwu smiled, then asked Cassio to follow him into the house, and asked Dongyu to accompany Lan Qi first. You brat, you didn't tell me when you found a girlfriend. Last time, you said you had no plans to do so. Dongwu said with a straight face. He was quite serious about his two younger brothers and was not as kind to his two younger sisters at all. So Cassio and Bobby are a little afraid of Dongwu. But Dongwu asked out of curiosity, considering that the last time he asked was a month ago. Just 1 month to get Lan Qi done. Last time I went to Grandpa Master Roshi's place, drank with Goku and the others, and got drunk. Cassio scratched his face in embarrassment. ... Dongwu was speechless. That's it. You got drunk and acted like a hooligan, so you killed Lan Qi. Then Lan Qi was convinced that this kid had a future. Okay, as a man, since you have done something, you have to take responsibility. Lan Qi is following you now, and you have to be nice to me in the future, otherwise I will break your legs. Dongwu felt that there were some things that needed to be explained. This kid had a criminal record and he killed Lan Chi when he was drunk. What if I get drunk next time? So Dongwu felt it was necessary to ask Casio to drink less in the future. I know, brother, I will only have Lan Chi myself, and I will be good to her. Casio trembled with fright and quickly promised. Dongwu is not joking, he is not Dong Ler Yueyu. The eldest brother said that if you break the leg, you will never break the arm. Well, here is a spirit tree fruit. You can give it to Lan Chi later. Dongwu took out a spirit tree fruit and gave it to Casio, and then told Casio to get out. Dongwu gave Casio the spirit tree fruit. On the one hand, as a big brother, he still had to give it as a greeting gift. On the other hand, Dongwu discovered that Lan Chi actually had quite a lot of chi, with a combat power of about 200. This may not be a big deal on today's Earth, but if it were in the original work, it would be even more powerful than Master Roshi. Now that Lan Chi has entered the martial arts gate, the spirit tree fruit is naturally the best choice. It seems that the Earth has really undergone earth-shaking changes. I didn't expect that Lan Chi has a higher combat power than the original Master Roshi. Dongwu smiled. Chinese martial arts are extremely effective in this Dragon Ball world, and it seems to be carried forward. Now that Casio has found his other half, it just depends on when Poppy can find his life goal. When Poppy gets married, I will go to the universe to make a living. I have been on Earth these years, and it's time to go out and see it. Quote. According to traditional Chinese thought, an elder brother is like a father. Dongwu has been the elder brother these years, caring for his parents. To be honest, Parrot and Zelia don't worry as much about their children as Dongwu. Thinking of these, Dongwu thought of his parents in this life, Parrot and Celia. It's really easy for these two to be parents. The three Casio brothers and sisters were brought up by Dongwu and Dongla. They didn't have anything to worry about. Now they are traveling around the universe. We communicated some time ago and it turned out that these two people were quite playful. I also took various photos of strange aliens. Dongwu felt depressed just thinking about it. Saiyan was really incompetent as a parent. Not only Parrot and Celia, there is also an unreliable guy, that is Son Goku. If it weren't for Saiyan's strong physique, Son Gohan would have been killed by him long ago. He often practices alone without taking care of his children. He occasionally takes care of him and often loses Son Gohan. I almost fell off a cliff once, but luckily I found it early. Dongwu felt that Saiyan was not suitable for taking care of children at all. Dongwu and Vegeta are top-notch, both are very family-oriented. If you look at the original work, you will know that the babies born are mid-level and high-level Saiyan warriors. What if it's a low-level warrior? Sorry, they are all disposable consumables. Just find a planet and send them away. It's good if you can occupy the planet while growing up, but if you can't occupy the planet, you will die. Moreover, no one will care about you when you die, and no one will be sad. So Dongwu didn't think about resurrecting all Saiyan, because most Saiyan are inhuman. Just as he was talking, Son Gohan, who was 4 years old this year, came to Dongwu from his home in Baozishan. In fact, Dongwu's house is very close to Son Goku's house, both near Baozi Mountain. So Son Gohan sometimes comes to Dongwu's house to play, and Dongwu likes to tease Son Gohan very much. Hello, Uncle Dongwu. Son Gohan is very polite, has a sweet mouth and knows how to salute. I have to say that Chi-Chi's education is still good, although the direction of education is not quite right. In the original book, Chi-Chi had to worry about food, rice, oil and salt because his family was poor, so he wanted Son Gohan to go to a good school and find a good job, and did not allow Son Gohan to practice. But now Son Goku's family is no longer a poor family. Dongwu's intervention has made their family quite wealthy. Not to mention the pirates' jewels when searching for the Dragon Ball. The wealth of the Red Ribbon Legion was more than Son Goku's family could spend in 10 lifetimes. Therefore, Chi-Chi has nothing against Son Gohan's practice, as long as his son is happy. Son Gohan has been practicing with Dongwu since Dongwu came back. I have always been taught by others, but now I have a disciple, Dongwu, who is very caring and teaches me meticulously and attentively. Gohan is so good, go find Aunt Yuyu. Dongwu also liked this polite little guy. Not only does it have endless potential, but it is also quite well behaved. Dongwu had to lament that all good children belong to other families. None of these little fool in my family are worried. Even Casio and Poppy, who are afraid of Dongwu, are quite naughty when Dongwu is not around. Why are other people's children so well behaved? Ah, Son Goku, I'm going to kill you. Suddenly a Hedong lion roar came from Baozi Mountain, and then heard constant screams. Chi-Chi's voice can be heard to be very angry and sad, and the voice is high. Although Dongwu's house and Son Goku's house are not far away, more than 1,000 meters away, they can both hear clearly. Along with Son Goku's screams, it really makes people laugh. Think about it, the number one man in the universe in the original book is tightly controlled by a woman from Earth. It was also quite interesting. Dongwu watched the two people perform with great interest. How did Son Goku offend Chi-Chi again? Dongwu was a little surprised. To be honest, although Son Goku was tightly controlled by Chi-Chi, this kind of thing had never happened. Chi-Chi, I really didn't mean it. I don't know why Bulma was in the bed. Son Goku screamed while running and explaining. Son Goku was also depressed. He didn't know what was going on, why Bulma was lying naked on his bed. PFF'd, stepping on two boats, that's awesome. Dongwu burst into laughter at that moment, unable to believe his ears. No wonder Chi-Chi is so angry. No matter which woman it is, she cannot tolerate her husband sleeping with other women. What's more, Chi-Chi is the head of the family. But what Dongwu couldn't believe was that Son Goku actually took care of Bulma. Son Goku is definitely not that kind of person, Dongwu is quite sure of this. In fact, many people will not be surprised that Son Goku and Bulma are together. The two have known each other since they were children, taking adventures together and sharing adversity together. And Son Goku always stands in front of Bulma, no matter how dangerous it is. Absolute childhood sweethearts, we have been through thick and thin together. It is impossible to say that two people have no feelings. It is often mentioned implicitly in the original work that in Bulma's heart, Son Goku is the most reliable. When there is danger, Bulma's first thought is Son Goku. However, even so, Son Goku cannot do such a thing. I won't listen to your explanation, but you dare to have with Bulma behind my back. I'll fight you. How could Chi-Chi listen to Son Goku's explanation? Just come up and fight hard. You can't hear or see this. I'd better leave. Dongwu was afraid of getting a needle eye, so it was better to leave. If two people have a conflict, it's okay to watch the lively quarrel. However, it is better to avoid getting involved in things that are obviously impossible to explain clearly. Sure enough, I heard two people quarreling all afternoon, with occasional ping-pong sounds coming from the side-by-side, which was obviously a fight. Whoosh! Dongwu was watching TV at home, and suddenly a figure entered Dongwu's house. Dongwu, help me, I'm dead, I'm dead. Before Dongwu could speak, Son Goku looked panicked and shouted with a sad face. What's going on? Did you hit the mountain again? Dongwu asked knowingly, looking at Son Goku who was bruised and swollen. He couldn't let Son Goku suspect that he knew about this and was enjoying it secretly. However, Son Goku now has more than 1 million fighting power, but he was beaten black and blue by Chi-Chi, which shows how powerful Chi-Chi is. Dongwu, I don't know either. Yesterday Bulma came to my house as a guest, and I drank a little of the drink your second brother brought. I fainted for some reason. I woke up this morning and found Bulma in my bed. Now Chi-Chi wants to kill me. Son Goku pulled his hair in distress, looking at a loss. Drinks that Casio brought. Dongwu was stunned. The only drink that could make people drunk was wine. It's also because Son Goku is too naive and has never drank alcohol. A soldier with a strength of 1 million was actually drunk with wine. However, this incident also reminded Dongwu, don't drink. Not only will it cause trouble, but you will also make mistakes easily. When Casio was drunk, he did it to Lan Chi in a daze. Son Goku did it to Bulma for no apparent reason because he was drunk again. What is this thing called? Dongwu suddenly thought of another question. What will Vegeta do in the future? Thinking about it, Dongwu's face became very strange. Is this Vegeta being cheated? It doesn't seem to count. In this world, Bulma is not with Vegeta yet. And, if you put it this way, Son Goku brought a lot of green to Vegeta when he was a child. Then what are you going to do? Dongwu took a deep breath and asked. I don't know what to do. Chi-Chi and Bulma are discussing it. I feel like I'm going to be doomed. Son Goku is still very naive, but at least he knows more about human relations than the original. Hiss, I wish you good luck. Dongwu gasped instantly. As long as the two women discuss it, they will definitely unite. Son Goku was going to be in bad luck. Dongwu silently mourned for him for a second. Although Dongwu has never been in love, there are many theories on the internet about his past life. In this case, the final result of Son Goku is that both people can get it and enjoy the blessing of both people. However, it will definitely be a miserable experience, and you will have to shed your skin even if you don't die. Goku, look, I don't understand this either. I've never been in love. Besides, this place is too close to your home. Bulma and Chi-Chi will be here in a minute. How about, you go ask Teacher Wushan for advice. The more you know, the farther you stay. Dongwu gave Son Goku advice. It's impossible to get out. Dongwu now wants Son Goku to get out of here. When a woman gets angry, it's like a volcano erupting. Dongwu felt that if Son Goku was in his home again, the big yard would be in danger and would probably be demolished by the two angry women. Yes, Grandpa Master Roshi must understand. Thank you, Dongwu. Son Goku's eyes lit up and he thought this was a good idea and immediately flew to Master Roshi's island. I have to say that Son Goku is still so naive, and he is fooled as soon as he is fooled. Shish, I'm finally leaving. Dongwu wiped away the cold sweat. The earth is so dangerous, and the women on earth are so dangerous. I think it is better to hide in the universe. Dongwu made up his mind to leave the earth as soon as possible. Originally, he planned to leave after both Casio and Bobby find girlfriends, but now he feels that it is better to leave early and feel at ease. Dongwu called Poppy back and told him to find a girlfriend as soon as possible, and also left a spirit tree fruit. You stupid idiot, if you really can't find him, just follow the example of your second brother and Son Goku. You can't get her drunk, but you can get yourself drunk. Dongwu knocked on Poppy's head and said as if he hated iron. You keep urging me, why don't you look for it yourself? Bobby covered his head and protested in a low voice. However, the protest was ineffective, and he was beaten again, so he became honest. Okay, I've already explained what I need to explain. I'll withdraw first. Dongwu thought it would be a good choice to take advantage of this time to learn instant transmission at a drat. Anyway, if you have nothing to do, go to Namek and learn instant transmission at a drat star school, which is still very good. Let's see if there are any experts out there. My recent strength growth has been slow and almost stagnant. It's also good to have experts competing against each other. Dongwu feels that this is the limit at this stage. Either he can break through Super Saiyan or break through the 9th level of Longshang Bo Ruo Gong, otherwise his strength will not increase much. With the Dragon Elephant Bo Ruo Gong, Dongwu is not ready to break through for the time being, he has to transform into Super Saiyan first. Chapter 41. Dongwu walked away gracefully, waving his sleeves without taking away a single cloud. He also has a plan for his itinerary. The first stop will be the planet Adrat, and then he will go to Namek to wait and see the exciting moment with his own eyes. Dongwu left, and the Earth returned to its original trajectory. Originally, the trajectory of the Earth changed a lot due to Dongwu's interference, but after Dongwu left, it slowly changed back to the original trajectory. The most obvious evidence is that Son Goku is dead. Can you believe it? It's funny to say that Son Goku was killed by the demonic light killing cannon because he was distracted during a sparring session with Piccolo. He died from the same move as in the original work, but the time was a little later and the cause of death was different. When Dongwu found out, he could only use to describe his mood. Under normal circumstances, this would be impossible, not to mention the strong physique and vitality brought by the powerful fighting power of Piccolo and Son Goku. Even with Son Goku and Piccolo's control over power, such a situation would not be possible. But, in fact, it just happened. Dongwu only wants to talk dirty, and the plot's resilience is really powerful. Then I went back to the same old path. One thing that is different is that Piccolo took the initiative to take care of Son Gohan out of guilt. Of course, because he could be resurrected and Piccolo did not do it on purpose, Chi-Chi and Bulma did not blame Piccolo. Originally, everyone planned to resurrect Son Goku, but Son Goku was training with the King of Kai and refused. Everything has returned to the same plot as the original work. Piccolo has been influenced by his evil thoughts and demonic nature. It's great. The god was heartily happy to see Piccolo's character getting better and better, and the man becoming more and more kind. Piccolo and the god were originally the same person, except for the evil part of Piccolo. Now evil has become good, which is most pleasing to the gods. Time passed day by day, and Dongwu learned 2 secret techniques on the Adrat planet: instant transmission and time distortion. This is the most mysterious, profound and difficult secret technique on the planet Adrat. Son Goku only learned 1 instant transmission in the original work. Therefore, Dongwu feels that his understanding is not bad. As for Dongwu's inability to learn Spirit Bomb, the Adratites also gave an explanation. The Adratites are not very powerful, but they are very knowledgeable. After Dongwu explained the principle, the Adratites gave Dongwu a guess. Spirit Bomb absorbs the purest energy and the most original power in the universe. Therefore, it must have the purest heart, otherwise it will not be recognized by the energy. Compare Dongwu and, "You mean I'm impure? How am I impure?" Dongwu was unconvinced, but he had to admit that what they said made sense. What is the purest heart? One is truly innocent, like Son Goku. The other kind is silly and has a pure heart. And Dongwu is neither a fool nor a child, so he cannot practice Spirit Bomb. Dongwu's goal has been exceeded, and the next stop is to go to Namek, because the time point is approaching for the plot of Namek. And a big event also happened on the Earth. Vegeta came with Nappa. Without Dongwu's participation, Nappa was decisively defeated by Klin and had no chance to fight back. And Nappa died in Vegeta's hands in the end. Trash has no right to live. This is Vegeta's reason for killing Nappa. You are so cruel, you will kill all your own companions. Klin and the warriors on Earth felt chilled. Nappa was not Vegeta's enemy, but a comrade and partner, and he was killed without hesitation just because he was defeated. This shocked and chilled the Earth warriors. Companion, useless trash, not worthy of being my companion, Vegeta. Vegeta said coldly, without any emotion on his face. But you are very good. An Earthling has such a high fighting ability. Vegeta looked at Klin, but there was no surprise on his face, as if Klin's fighting ability was not taken seriously by him at all. You know, Krillin has a fighting strength of over 30,000, which is much stronger than Vegeta in the original work, but now Vegeta doesn't care at all. It's certain that Vegeta hid his fighting power and didn't know where he learned it. Really, judging from your expression, you should be hiding your fighting power. Use all your strength and let me see how strong you are and how you compare with Goku. Klin said solemnly, taking precautions. Because the Saiyans he knew were all very strong except for Raditz and Nappa. So he dare not underestimate any Saiyan. He didn't know Vegeta's strength, but he just had to prepare for the worst. Want to see my strength? You're not qualified yet, come on together. Vegeta pointed at Krillin, Tien Shinhan, Dumplings, Yamcha, Son Gohan and Piccolo. TCH, Piccolo spat disdainfully, while the others were serious. Because they can feel it, Vegeta is difficult to deal with. HMPH, you will soon know how powerful and terrifying a person you are going to face. Vegeta took off the detector and slowly walked towards the crowd. Drink, Lengya Fengfeng. Yincha was the first to be unable to bear it and was the first to attack. Yincha is the weakest among this group of people, but he still has more than 10,000 combat power and his most proud trick is to use it. However, Vegeta on the opposite side just raised his hand to block Yuncha's attack, and was defeated by Yuncha with just one move. Moreover, he was directly punched to death. Drinking tea, Uncle Yamcha. Everyone was stunned and angry. Krillin, Tien Shinhan, Dumpling and Gohan shot at the same time. Powerful chi impacted everything around them, angry flames burned, and everyone tried their best. Unfortunately, he is no match for Vegeta. Even if everyone worked together, they couldn't survive a single move in Vegeta's hands. With a few simple movements, everyone flew out. Gohan. Seeing Son Gohan vomiting blood, Piccolo quickly caught him, feeling very distressed. In the nearly 1 year since Son Goku's death, he had been taking care of Son Gohan, and his relationship was very deep. Namek people have no gender, but that doesn't mean they don't have the love of their elders. He really treats Son Gohan as his own child. Seeing his child being beaten, Piccolo felt extremely distressed and angry. Saiyan, you're really pissing me off. Piccolo put down Son Gohan and stood up coldly and looked at Vegeta, his powerful energy rising little by little. Powerful, so powerful that it's suffocating. The ground around him collapsed instantly, the rocks shattered into powder, and the sky became much darker. Namek, he seems pretty good. Vegeta looked at Piccolo, his face becoming serious for the first time. It's not just good, I'll let you taste my power. Piccolo started, so fast that you couldn't even see him. Even Vegeta was shocked by the speed. Snapped. Piccolo and Vegeta's fists collided, and Vegeta accurately caught Piccolo's attack. Boom. The ground beneath the two of them disappeared in an instant, and was blown away by the powerful energy. The strength and speed are good, but it's a pity that he is not my opponent. Vegeta said coldly, but the movements of his hands did not stop, but the speed became faster and faster. Piccolo was not to be outdone, fighting fast with speed and power with strength. You won't know until you beat him or not. Drink. Piccolo was furious, and his strength instantly increased by 3 points. Da da da, bang bang bang. The two people became stronger and faster, and their speed became faster and faster. The earth and sky were vibrating. From time to time, the ground collapsed and there were loud noises in the sky. Both men tried their best and tried their best. The battle between Vegeta and Piccolo was so fierce that no one present could see clearly or even capture their figures. In the world of Dragon Ball, a fighting force of 10,000 or 20,000 people has the power to destroy the planet. And Piccolo already has millions of fighting power. Vegeta can fight Piccolo and it will not be low. If two people didn't only target each other, the earth would be destroyed in an instant. Bang! Another head-on collision, and the two men flew backwards. Yes, it's amazing that the Namek people have such fighting power. Vegeta twisted his neck with a creaking sound and said with a disdainful expression. HMPH, you're not bad either. However, I will still defeat you. Piccolo's expression was more serious. He already knew through the previous battle that Vegeta's fighting ability was no less than him. It's not easy to defeat Vegeta. Really, you probably thought that was all my fighting power just now. Vegeta said mockingly, and then his expression turned serious and said, the warm-up exercise is over, let me show you my true strength. Drink. Vegeta exploded with all his strength, and powerful energy surged out of him for a moment, overwhelming Piccolo. Okay, so strong. Klin and others suddenly changed their expressions. Vegeta's strength has increased too much, and now it has surpassed Piccolo by a lot. At least 1.3 million, Piccolo is in danger. Tien Shinhan said with an ugly expression. Among the remaining people, Tien Shinhan may not have the highest combat power, but his martial arts realm is top-notch, and Krillin is slightly behind. After all, despite his age, Tien Shinhan Piccolo has been practicing for several years. Therefore, Tien Shinhan felt the gap the moment Vegeta broke out in combat power. What should I do? Dad hasn't been resurrected yet. Gohan looked anxious and worried. Although Piccolo and Son Gohan were not like the original, Piccolo was still very important in Son Gohan's little heart after nearly a year of care and teaching. You actually hid your fighting power. Piccolo was surprised. You know, they don't rely on detectors to detect combat effectiveness, they rely on perception. If you just suppress your breath without concentrating it into your body, you won't be able to hide their feelings. And Vegeta was able to deceive their senses. You can imagine how surprised Piccolo and I were too. Yes, now, let me play with you. Vegeta smiled evilly, ducked to Piccolo's side, and kicked Piccolo in the head. Snapped. Piccolo quickly raised his hand to block the attack, but the strength gap between the two was quite big now. Although they blocked the attack, they were pushed back a long way. Oops. Piccolo's color changed, and he knew from this kick that he would suffer in Vegeta's hands. But Piccolo also has a character that refuses to admit defeat and never gives up even though he knows he can't beat him. Drink. Da da da. The two men continued to fight, but it could be seen that Piccolo was obviously at a disadvantage, and he could only defend but not fight back. He was obviously being beaten. Even if he was defending, he would get hit from time to time. Mom, hurry up, Uncle Piccolo can't hold it anymore. Son Gohan has been anxious and praying beside him, while looking worriedly at Piccolo who is fighting Vegeta. Bang! Piccolo was knocked away again, blue-green blood flowing from the corners of his mouth. Piccolo, injured. However, maybe Son Gohan's prayer worked, and the sky suddenly turned dark. Everyone knows that Bulma and Chi-Chi have gathered the Dragon Ball, and Son Gohan is about to be resurrected. Everyone's hope instantly ignited. Even if Son Goku's strength did not increase, Piccolo and Son Goku would still have a chance to defeat Vegeta. What's going on? Why is it so dark? Vegeta had obviously never experienced this kind of situation. He was a little surprised and looked at everyone fiercely. You may not know, but there are several Saiyans on Earth, many of whom are much more powerful than you. And there is also one who is similar to you, and that is the one who is about to appear. Tien Shinhan looked at Vegeta seriously and breathed a sigh of relief. That's right, it's dark now because Son Goku is going to be resurrected. Klin said proudly. The two were brothers who grew up together. They were more than brothers. Although Krillin has been comparing himself to Son Goku, he is also proud of Son Goku's achievements. However, he was still young after all, so he actually let something slip. Resurrection? You mean resurrecting the dead? How is this possible? The others didn't notice, but Vegeta heard the key immediately. If a person dies, he is dead. How can he be resurrected? You don't know, there are Dragon Balls on Earth. As long as you collect 7 Dragon Balls, you can grant a wish. Son Gohan was younger and had no scheming at all. He opened his mouth and revealed the secret. Dragon Ball. There is such a thing. Vegeta was obviously stunned. He had also heard of Dragon Ball in the universe. Legend has it that the Namek people have the magical ability to create Dragon Balls to grant any wish. But he always regarded it as nonsense and never thought that such a thing existed on Earth. Looking at Piccolo, Vegeta seemed to suddenly realize. This person named Piccolo is a Namek person, and he should have made the Dragon Ball. So, the rumors of the Namek Dragon Ball are true. Vegeta's heart suddenly became hot. If he could get the Namek Dragon Ball and realize his wish of immortality, then who would still be his opponent? In fact, Vegeta has always had hatred in his heart. He already knew that it was Frieza who destroyed planet Vegeta. Once, after his strength increased, he thought about seeking revenge against Frieza, but he met someone who gave up the idea. This person is Zania, a female warrior. Vegeta didn't even survive a single move in her hands. If she hadn't had the intention to kill, Vegeta would have been dead. And according to her, Frieza has similar fighting power to her in the movie version. She teamed up with Bojack and others to defeat Son Gohan at the peak of Super 1. That's why Vegeta gave up the idea of revenge against Frieza. However, this hatred did not disappear, but intensified with time. But he knew that his strength was not enough. If he could live forever, he would have enough time to surpass Frieza. Very good. Tell me the news about Dragon Ball and I won't kill you, otherwise you will all die. Thinking of his wish to live forever, Vegeta suddenly became cruel and ruthless. HMPH, you want Dragon Ball. In the next life. This time it was Piccolo's turn to taunt Vegeta. The Dragon Ball is not something that ordinary people can find, especially if you kill him, you can't even use the Dragon Ball. Huh, if that's the case, then I'll kill you all. Vegeta is the kind of person who will prosper if he obeys me and will perish if he goes against me. If he doesn't obey me, then he will kill them all. Vegeta can say it and do it. So he was more ruthless and killed directly. At the other end of the distant northern galaxy, in a huge flying saucer-shaped spacecraft, a strange alien quickly reported to a person sitting on the aircraft. King Frieza is done. Vegeta's detector just sent a message about the Dragon Ball. Oh, really? Ha ha ha, it's really great. I never thought there would be such a magical thing. If I can make a wish for immortality, then the entire universe will be under my control. Frieza smiled happily. Keep monitoring Vegeta, and we must get the exact information about Dragon Ball. Yes, King Frieza. Yes, that's Frieza over there, and now he too has noticed Dragon Ball, the strict watcher of Vegeta. However, Vegeta doesn't know it yet, and neither does everyone on Earth. Coax. Vegeta's momentum was like a flash flood, and waves surged toward everyone. If you don't want to tell me, then go to hell. The first person Vegeta killed was Tien Shinhan. In fact, Tien Shinhan's strength is already pretty good, with almost 30,000. But compared to Vegeta's million combat power, it's still far behind. One move, just one move and Tien Shinhan died. Because something unexpected happened to Vegeta, even Piccolo didn't have time to save Tien Shinhan. Tianjin, Dumpling shouted in grief, very sad. Among everyone present, In terms of relationships, Dumpling and Tien Shinhan are definitely the best. The two have never been separated since they were fighting since they were young. Even when they left Hexenren, they were still together. The saddest thing about Tien Shinhan's death is the dumplings. Tien Shinhan, Klin and Yinsha also opened their eyes with sadness and fear. They didn't expect Vegeta to be so powerful and ruthless. In one move, Tien Shinhan was killed. I'm really vulnerable. Who should I kill next? Vegeta blew on his fingers and said nonchalantly. It's as if you're not killing a person, but squeezing an ant or bedbug to death. However, the gap between Tien Shinhan and Vegeta is indeed huge. Except for Piccolo, everyone present is no different from squeezing an ant to death in Vegeta's eyes. How could he be so strong? Why hasn't Goku come yet? Klin gritted his teeth, but his body was already trembling. He doesn't want to and won't back down, but now he is really scared inside. He can overcome fear, but he cannot avoid fear. The gap was too big. Except for Piccolo, no one else could escape Vegeta's kill. Tianjin. Dumpling hugged Tien Shinhan's body and shouted sadly, then slowly put the body down and looked at Vegeta with hatred on his face. You evil Saiyan, I want you to pay for Tien Shinhan with your life. Dumpling said every word and walked towards Vegeta step by step. However, Vegeta didn't take Dumpling seriously at all. The threat of a little guy with 20,000 combat power was a joke to him. Oh, you won't let me go. Really? Then let me see why you won't let me go. Yeah, Dumpling rushed to Vegeta's side instantly and hugged Vegeta. His power activated, and Vegeta was instantly paralyzed and unable to move. However, the gap between the two was too big, and Dumpling could only paralyze Vegeta for a moment. Good opportunity, let's take action together. Although the duration of Dumpling's paralysis was short, how could such a fighter opportunity be missed by Earth's experienced warriors? Klin shouted and took action directly. Piccolo, Yuncha, and Son Gohan also took action directly. Tianjin, I will avenge you too. After Dumpling finished speaking, his body swelled up, and then he exploded with a bang sound. And everyone's attacks also arrived, and 4 ki blasts hit Vegeta at once. Others are fine, but Piccolo's ki blast is more terrible. Although Piccolo has no time to accumulate power, the million-level combat power is still a great threat to Vegeta, even fatal. Bang! Vegeta flew out, his battle suit was all broken, and there were wounds all over his body, bleeding profusely. Puff! Vegeta opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood. This time Vegeta was seriously injured. I'm going to kill you. You dare to hurt the noble King Vegeta. I'm going to kill you. Vegeta was really angry. This was the first time he had been injured so seriously since he was injured by Dongwu more than 20 years ago. Even when he was defeated by Zangia, he was only defeated, not injured. However, to be seriously injured on Earth by an Earth warrior whom he despised was simply unbearable. His pride would not allow it. Die. Vegeta takes action. This time the target is Yuncha. Piccolo tried his best to block it, but Yuncha was still killed by Vegeta's sneak attack with his other hand. Vegeta. Piccolo was also angry. He used to be the second generation of Piccolo Daimao, and he was considered evil at first. But he has really changed a lot recently. He feels loved and cared for. Now seeing his companions and comrades dying one by one, Piccolo was really angry. However, Piccolo is no match for Vegeta. Although it's not easy for Vegeta to kill him, it's also difficult for him to stop whatever Vegeta wants to do. Bang! Son Gohan flew out and was seriously injured and fell to the ground. Hee, go to hell. Vegeta hit the immobile Son Gohan with a Qigong bomb. Not to mention the seriously injured Son Gohan, even if he was intact, he would still die if he was hit by this Qigong bomb. After all, the difference in strength is too big. Gohan. Piccolo's teeth were broken. Son Gohan's understanding and respect for him made him love and care for Son Gohan from the bottom of his heart. Now watching Vegeta attack Son Gohan, Piccolo rushed to Son Gohan without even thinking. Puff! Vegeta's Qigong bullet cut through Piccolo's heart. In an instant, Piccolo lost his power, and the light in his eyes gradually dimmed. A complete Piccolo's core can be resurrected without being broken. But those who are separated from the gods do not have this ability. Gohan, leave quickly, wait for Lao Sun to come back. Piccolo guarded Son Gohan even before he died and was worried about Son Gohan. It has to be said that Gohan is Piccolo's Achilles heel. Uncle Piccolo. Son Gohan's tears burst out of his eyes, like a river bursting its banks, unable to be stopped. Piccolo. Krillin gritted his teeth and rushed to Piccolo. Saiyan. Krillin gritted his teeth and rushed towards Vegeta, his fear now forgotten. Little bald man is looking for death, let me send you down to reunite with them. Vegeta didn't care about Krillin at all, he raised his hand and fired a Qigong bullet at Krillin. Stop. At this moment, a shout came over, and an orange figure flew in front of Krillin, and slapped Vegeta's Qigong bomb away. Son Goku, finally felt it. Phew, we finally arrived. I really don't understand why brother didn't let us take action, otherwise I would have crushed this Vegeta to death. Dongla and others who were far away in the temple finally breathed a sigh of relief when they saw Son Goku arriving. Seeing his friends die one by one, Dongla had long wanted to take action. But before leaving, Dongwu specifically stated that if Vegeta came to Earth, she would not be allowed to take action and let Son Goku and the others handle it. But now that Piccolo is dead and Grandpa Tianshan is dead, the Dragon Ball can no longer be used. The dead Krillin and the others cannot be resurrected. Casio said distressedly, because Piccolo and the gods are one and the same, and if Piccolo dies, the gods will also die. When the gods die, Dragon Ball turns completely into stone. How can the dead warriors of the earth be resurrected? I came back late, looking at the dead Tien Shinhan and drinking tea, and thinking of the dumplings that exploded without any bones left. Son Goku's heart was filled with sadness and anger. Dad, this Saiyan killed Uncle Tien Shinhan, Uncle Yamcha, Uncle Dumpling and Uncle Piccolo. Gohan said that Piccolo was the saddest, because Piccolo died to save him. I know, don't worry Gohan, Dad will defeat him. Son Goku touched his son's head and solemnly promised. Your name is Vegeta. You are the second alien Saiyan I have seen. Son Goku turned around and looked at Vegeta with sharp eyes. Yes, I am Vegeta, the Prince of Saiyan. Vegeta said proudly, as if the title of Prince could bring him supreme glory. In fact, Vegeta also knows that his title of Prince is already a joke, but it is his honor. This kind of glory is not the dignity of status, but the pride that a prince must maintain. I finally believe that the Saiyan people deserve to be exterminated. I didn't believe it when Dongwu said it, but looking at what you did today, I know what kind of nation the Saiyan are. Today, I will not forgive you, come on. Son Goku slowly increased his momentum. Son Goku did not raise his energy to the highest level at the beginning, but improved it bit by bit. It can be thought that he also really wanted to kill Vegeta in his heart. Today's Son Goku is naturally naive, but under the influence of Dongwu, he has become more decisive. Wow, Son Goku's momentum was like a wave, rising one level at a time, constantly improving. 200,000, 300,000, 1 million, 1 million and 100,000, 1.5 million. In the end, it stayed at around 1.5 million. This is the ultimate combat power, higher than Vegeta. Vegeta wake up. Son Goku takes action. Instead of testing and enjoying the fight, he wants to defeat Vegeta now. Goku has become stronger, not bad. Dongla nodded, she somewhat understood why Dongwu was so interested in Son Goku. Although Son Goku has low qualifications, his potential is high. Coupled with the fact that I work hard enough and constantly surpass myself, my strength improvement is not too fast compared to theirs, but it is not too slow either. You little guys, go home and practice twice as much. Without Dongwu, Dongla is a real big sister. Thinking about Son Goku's hard work and the cheating of his younger brothers and sisters at home, Dongla somewhat understood Dongwu's headache. Otherwise, with the good conditions provided by Dongwu, the strength of these people must be more than this. Son Goku's original fighting power was about the same as Piccolo's, but his strength improved a lot after training on Kaio Planet. Coupled with Kaioken and Spirit Bomb, Son Goku is now very strong. However, Vegeta is not a vegetarian either. Although his combat power is a little lower than Son Goku's, his martial arts level is also a little lower. But he has been struggling in the universe since he was a child and has experienced countless battles. He has much more practical experience than Son Goku. Therefore, although Son Goku had the upper hand for a while, it still took a lot of effort to defeat Vegeta. Of course, if Son Goku uses Kaioken, that's a different story. It's just that the King of Kai once told him not to use it as much as possible, as it would cause too much stress and damage to the body. You can only carry 100 kilograms, but if you have to carry 200 kilograms, it will not cause harm to your body. Bang bang bang. The two people collided again and again, attacking each other again and again. The whole planet was shaking, the sky was changing color, and lightning was crackling and flashing. The Saiyan is really a terrible nation. Even the king of Kai lamented that after living for so many thousands of years, he had never seen any race with such high growth potential. Papa, Son Goku punched Vegeta, and Vegeta also took the opportunity to kick Son Goku. Yes, you were born with only 2 points of combat power, but you can grow to this point. It really surprises me, Vegeta gasped. Vegeta was not out of breath after fighting the Earth Warriors for so long, but he was so tired after fighting Son Goku for a while, which shows the high intensity. Even Son Goku gasped in excitement. Dongwu once told me that innate qualifications only account for part of the advantage. As long as you have potential, continue to surpass yourself, and break your limits, you will continue to become stronger. Son Goku's qualifications are indeed not good in Saiyan, even very bad. However, Son Goku works hard enough and never admits defeat. You will not admit defeat to others, nor will you admit defeat to yourself. In the original work, Vegeta despaired and gave up many times. But Son Goku never did. This is the reason why Son Goku can constantly surpass himself and surpass each opponent, that is, he never admits defeat. Vegeta, come on. Son Goku rushed towards Vegeta again, and Vegeta fought with Son Goku not to be outdone. However, there is still a gap in strength. Vegeta is slowly struggling, getting hit more and more often, and suffering more and more injuries. Coupled with the fact that he had been injured by Piccolo, the situation became increasingly unfavorable for Vegeta. Bang! Finally, Vegeta was hit again, and a bunch of blood flew out of his body. Impossible, I am Prince Saiyan, the strongest warrior of Saiyan. How could I lose to a waste like you, a piece of trash with only 2 points of combat power? Vegeta doesn't have much ability to resist now, he has been seriously injured. He wanted to continue fighting, but his movements and strength had weakened a lot. Do you have to transform into a gorilla? Vegeta angrily thought of a way, but when he saw Son Goku still had his tail, he had no choice but to give up. After all, Son Goku with a tail would transform into a gorilla just like him if he used an artificial moon. Vegeta now feels quite at the end of his rope. I haven't found the Saiyan from more than 20 years ago, am I going to lose to another Saiyan today? I don't believe it, and I won't accept it. Vegeta was furious. He has always considered himself a Saiyan genius and the strongest Saiyan. But he was defeated by Dongla and Dongwu more than 20 years ago. He has been practicing hard for more than 20 years, hoping that one day he can defeat Dongwu and Dongla and wash away the shame. However, the shame of more than 20 years ago has not been washed away, and now he is about to lose to another Saiyan. How can he accept this? Vegeta, today you will pay for Piccolo and the others with your life. It has to be said that Son Goku has undergone tremendous changes compared to the original work. At least, when facing the enemy, he is no longer blindly kind and generous. He understood that the enemy was the enemy, and if he didn't eradicate the root cause, the people around him would be harmed. Therefore, Son Goku is now murderous towards Vegeta. If Piccolo was alive, Son Goku wouldn't be so angry. After all, he can be resurrected with Dragon Ball even if he dies. But since Piccolo is dead, the Dragon Ball cannot be used, which means that the dead can no longer be resurrected. One can imagine the anger in Son Goku's heart. I haven't lost yet. With endless anger, Vegeta rushed towards Son Goku again. Unfortunately, Vegeta, who no longer has much power, is no match for Son Goku. He was kicked away directly, causing more injuries. Bang bang bang. Son Goku chased after him and launched another series of attacks, which directly knocked Vegeta out of combat. Die. Just when Son Goku was about to kill Vegeta in one go, a powerful and suffocating breath suddenly came from outside. The aura from outside is very strong, ridiculously strong. The unbridled, wild and raging aura was so oppressive that it made people suffocate. In fact, Dongla and others had already discovered it before Son Goku. A combat power of almost 1.8 billion, which is similar to that of a junior Super Saiyan. Dongla frowned his beautiful eyebrows, guessing who it could be. However, she didn't care about this little bit of fighting power. Although Dongla can still only transform into Super Saiyan 2, his strength has completely surpassed that of Super Saiyan 2. It feels like 180 million or 800 million, which is not much different from Zan Wuja. However, she couldn't imagine anyone with such fighting power nowadays. However, it didn't matter if she didn't know him or not, someone knew him. Yes, both Kaio and Vegeta know each other. How did this woman come to Earth? Vegeta also felt this energy. He was very familiar with this energy and would never forget it in his life. It was this angry master who made him feel the taste of failure for the second time. The second one was the King of Kai. At this time, he was speechless and there was cold sweat on his forehead. How could it be? How could it be her? The Earth is really in trouble. The King of Kai murmured to himself. He was very familiar with this person. Tens of thousands of years have passed, and he still can't forget this person. When Bojack was sealed, this man caused a lot of trouble for the four kings of the realm. However, he felt relieved that Dongla and others were on Earth. Fortunately they are here, otherwise the Earth would be doomed. Although the king of the realm didn't know why Dongla and others didn't take action just now, he knew that Dongla and others wouldn't really stand by and watch. But to be on the safe side, he still sent a message to Dongla. Dongla, the person who is about to enter the Earth now is Zania, a super soldier from tens of thousands of years ago. If she wants to take action, please stop her. King Kai's tone was a little urgent, but there was no panic at the beginning. I understand, Lord Kaio, and I won't let her cause trouble on Earth. Dongla nodded and agreed. Dongwu only said that Vegeta was not allowed to take action when he came to Earth, but he did not say that others were not allowed to take action. If it weren't for Dongwu's explanation, Vegeta would have been dead long ago. Many warriors on Earth looked up at the sky, waiting for the master of this energy to arrive. Dongla also flew towards the battlefield with Dongyu, Casio and Poppy. Soon, Dongla and others arrived at the scene, and the spacecraft quickly landed. However, Vegeta did not go to see the spaceship, nor did he go to see the people inside the spaceship. The moment Dongla landed, his eyes were fixed on Dongla. Although more than 20 years have passed, the child has become an adult and his appearance has also changed. But Vegeta recognized it at a glance. Dongla was the little girl who defeated him more than 20 years ago. Later, because of her, he was almost beaten by his brother and couldn't take care of himself. Is it you? It's you. Vegeta staggered, forced himself to stand up, and pointed at Dongla, his eyes filled with joy and fighting spirit. For more than 20 years, he has been thinking about the meeting with Dongwu and others all the time. A large part of the reason why he came to Earth was because he suspected that the two of them were on Earth. Unexpectedly, as he thought, he met Dongla on Earth. What, you want to do something? Not to mention your current state, even in your prime you can't stop me with a finger. Of course Dongla also recognized Vegeta. After all, the pure blood Saiyan was relatively easy to recognize. After saying that, Dongla no longer looked at him, but turned to look at the woman coming out of the spaceship. A beautiful girl with aqua blue complexion and long orange hair. Her big eyes and cute little figure make her look very charming. How dare you look down on me? Dongla ignored Vegeta, but Vegeta was angered by Dongli's attitude. Holding back the pain and loss of strength in his body, he launched an attack on Dongla. It's a pity that Dongla doesn't even have the desire to take action. During Vegeta's attack, he was slapped away by Dongyu. If Vegeta were at his peak, he would still be able to compete with Dongyu. But after being seriously injured, he and Dongyu were no longer able to fight. However, Dongwu wouldn't let them kill Vegeta. So although Dongyu slapped Vegeta away, he didn't kill him and just let him lie on the ground and calm down. I couldn't beat those two people more than 20 years ago, and now I can't even beat the little girl next to them. I'm really unwilling. Vegeta almost fainted with anger. Alien, what brings you to Earth? Dongla ignored Vegeta and just looked at this beautiful woman coldly. If the other person dared to say a troublesome word, she was ready to teach him how to behave. Zania also felt the other party's tone, and also vaguely felt the powerful power hidden in the other party's body. But she still said calmly, I'm here for Vegeta, I want to take him away. Dongla frowned. He couldn't imagine why the other party would come all the way to take Vegeta away if he was so powerful. Although Vegeta is not weak, he is just dispensable to such a master. However, since Dongla is not the one causing trouble, I don't want to bother with him. Dongwu told her not to let her take action and not let Vegeta die. When Son Goku wanted to kill Vegeta just now, she was still thinking about how to persuade him, but now it seems that she doesn't need to embarrass herself. Good. Okay, but next time he dares to come to Earth to do evil again, I will personally take action and crush him directly. Although Dongla let the two go, he still had to give a warning. Thank you for your generosity. I guarantee that he will not come to Earth again to do bad things. Zania nodded, smiled at Dongla, and bowed to express his gratitude. In fact, Zania is not a very good-tempered person. If she were an ordinary person, she would just take them and leave. But as a super warrior who has lived for tens of thousands of years, she can vaguely feel Dongli's extraordinary in power, so she is so polite. However, Vegeta is not happy. Woman, why do you decide for me? I won't give up, Vegeta yelled in anger. It is anger and shame that turn into anger, not anger. Vegeta has a strong self-esteem, and being saved by a woman begging made him unable to accept it. He would rather die in battle. It's not up to you now. Zania didn't tolerate him, so she just picked it up and gave it to Vegeta to carry away. Before leaving, Zania nodded to Dongla. Regardless of Vegeta's frenzy and struggle, he forced him into the universe spacecraft. Vegeta was picked up by Zania, and things on Earth came to an end temporarily. Next is the plot of Namek. This time we will take advantage of this opportunity to eradicate the Frozen Demon clan in one fell swoop. After learning the news about the Earth, Dongwu came to the residence of the Great Elder. But the Great Elder Namek told Dongwu that something big was about to happen, and Super Namek Slug was coming. Dongwu, I hope you can help Namek solve this trouble. The Elder's old face was full of heartache and helplessness. As a super soldier, Slug is as inherently evil as the legendary Saiyan. Slug. Dongwu was confused. Slug was a character in the theater version, and Dongwu knew it. He should be very old now. In the theatrical version, he is the evil Super Namek, with extreme evil and powerful fighting power. Rumor has it that he was stronger than Frieza when he was young and proclaimed himself a demon. Later, he came to the Earth to transform it into a demonic realm suitable for the survival of demons, and restored his youth with the help of the Earth's Dragon Ball. And transformed into a Super Namek, even the mimic Super Saiyan Son Goku was no match for him. In the end, I had to use the whistle and spirit bomb to eliminate him. However, he should have entered the Earth later. How did he come to Namek now? But no matter what, Dongwu will definitely help. Don't worry, Great Elder, I will definitely not let Slag destroy Namek. Sure enough, just the next day an evil and powerful energy appeared in the sky above Namek. It is indeed Namek's anger, but it has a sense of evil and cruelty. Dongwu made a rough estimate of where Slag would land, and flew there first to wait for Slag to land. Dongwu didn't know much about Slag, as he only appeared in the theatrical version. But this man is no less evil than Frieza. Soon, a huge spacecraft quickly entered the atmosphere and landed slowly. Then a group of small Luoluo and a few relatively powerful people came out of the spacecraft. Is this the hometown of King Slug? A strange-looking alien looked at Namek. Don't waste time. King Slug is back to use the Dragon Ball to fulfill his wish. Let's hurry up. Another Slug subordinate with a relatively high combat power scolded. Well, I still want to transform this planet. The first alien to speak said with a hint of ridicule and regret. I think you have no chance. Dongwu spoke up. After hearing their conversation, Dongwu knew that this was a group more evil than Frieza. In order to prevent Namek from being destroyed, Dongwu decided to make a quick decision. Boy, who are you? You don't need to worry about who I am. Xiao Luo is not qualified to know my name. Dongwu actually said in his heart, I don't even bother to know Luo's name. Single quote. In fact, Dongwu really couldn't remember the names of several of Slager's powerful men. After all, the names are hard to remember, and I didn't pay attention to these people at the time. Although they were good, even Piccolo at that time was no match for them. How dare you underestimate Uncle Ankira? An alien with red skin fired a Qigong bomb at Dongwu. But why would Dongwu take such an attack seriously? I said something, little Luoluo, please don't interrupt anymore. Dongwu didn't even try to dodge, he just charged towards a large group of aliens with qigong bombs. Pa bang bang. With one punch, several of Slag's powerful subordinates Angela, Jisho, Jigu, Dorotobo and Big Eyes went to report to King Yama. Although there is a large group of others left, they are all weak chickens. Dongwu was too lazy to talk nonsense and sent all the ki blast to King Yama. Slug, aren't you coming out yet? Dongwu eliminated Shaoluoluo and shouted to the universe spaceship. Dongwu has a feeling that Slag's arrival will be the key to his transformation into Super Saiyan. Dongwu didn't know why. Logically speaking, Slag wouldn't put much pressure on him, so how could he be the key to his transformation? But that's what his intuition told him. People who practice martial arts will have a kind of intuition when they reach advanced realms. It is just like the saying goes that the cicada is the prophet before the autumn wind moves. Some people also call it a whim, which is a mysterious feeling. You are very good, you can defeat my men easily. Slag's old voice came from the universe spacecraft, and a tall and strong green figure slowly walked out. The figure is tall and strong. Overall, they look similar to ordinary Namek people, but they always give people an evil feeling. Did the Great Elder ask you to come? Slag looked at Dongwu without much fluctuation in his eyes. He has been running rampant in the universe for hundreds of years and has rarely encountered opponents. Although Dongwu performed very strongly, he didn't think Dongwu could defeat him, even though he was already very old. Yes, if you are willing to change your ways, I will plead with the Great Elder to let you return to Namek. Dongwu looked at Slag. Although he knew it was impossible, he still had the attitude of giving it a try. Return from evil to righteousness. What is evil? What is righteousness? Strong strength is righteousness, and we, the demon clan, are righteousness. Slug looked disdainful. He was born with an evil heart and his eyes were full of sin. The so-called good and evil are no longer the same in his eyes as ordinary people, or in other words, his view of good and evil is distorted. He believes that he is righteous, and it is impossible to change this kind of person. In that case, there's nothing more to say. Dongwu's combat power, which was a little over 100 million, instantly increased to its maximum, and the tide-like momentum made the entire Namek tremble. Yes, with such strong strength, no wonder he is so confident. However, he is still a big step behind me. Slag also slowly increased his chi, one after another, and soon surpassed Dongwu, and was still improving. 110 million, 120 million, and finally stayed at around 150 million. It is true that your energy is much higher than mine, but you are old and frail, how much can you still exert? Dongwu didn't care. Slag had a combat power of 150 million, but he was too old and could not use his full strength. Moreover, even if he can really exert his full strength, Dongwu doesn't care. With the bonus and physical quality of Dongwu's 8th level of Longxiang Boruo Gong, 150 million is not without resistance. What's more, Dongwu and Kaioken, Slager doesn't pose much of a threat. Even if I can't give full play, it won't be a problem to defeat you. Slager is still very confident in his own strength. Then come on. Dongwu took the lead in launching the attack, and he couldn't wait any longer. Saiyan is warlike, and Dongwu is no exception. But in recent years, he has rarely taken action. This is a rare opportunity, and Dongwu can't wait to experience the battle. In addition, the opportunity for his Super Saiyan transformation lies with Shilage, and Dongwu cannot let it go. Boom! The battle between Dongwu and Shilage has begun, and the fight between fists and fists is the most passionate. Dongwu has a huge advantage in this regard. What Longxiang Boruo Gong gives him is an absolutely powerful body. If he didn't use his energy and relied solely on his body, Dongwu was confident that he could beat Slag into a pulp. Of course, fighting in the Dragon Ball world does not rely solely on physical strength, chi plays the greatest role. Slag's energy was stronger than Dongwu's, so Dongwu didn't have the advantage in the fight, and even suffered a slight disadvantage. That's interesting. You will be my stepping stone to become Super Saiyan. Dongwu's blood and fighting passion were completely aroused. Slug, if this is all you have, then you don't have to leave. Dongwu said excitedly. Dongwu somewhat understood why Vegeta and Son Goku kept fighting and enjoying the battle. This is the factor buried deep in Saiyan's bones, and fighting is always their greatest pursuit. Dongwu came to the world of Dragon Ball. At first, he just wanted to become stronger and leave his own legend and excitement. Years of practicing Taoism have made him more casual than ordinary people, without too many pursuits. But now Dongwu has finally found his own way. He was once angry because Dragon Ball was super, because it was not the Dragon Ball he thought of at all. I was also reluctant to give up because of the 7 Dragon Ball series. Now that we are in this world, we must change all our shortcomings and dissatisfactions. You don't need to be invincible, but you must let Dragon Ball have no regrets. Moreover, Dongwu felt that with his qualifications, he would be better than Son Goku. Really? Then let me see how you keep me. Slug said disdainfully. Dongwu was talking big words while he was still at a disadvantage. Naturally, he wouldn't have anything to fear. Good. Dongwu punched Slager, but when Slager blocked him, he changed his position and came behind Slager. The moment Slug turned around, he came behind him again. Dongwu made up his mind to take advantage of Slug's old age and fight him with physical strength and speed. If you can't beat him to death, you'll tire him to death. Slug was so angry that he roared repeatedly, but there was nothing he could do about Dongwu. However, Dongwu didn't take advantage, it just made Slug very angry. Shaluj, you're done. Dongwu finally exchanged punches with Shaluj, and this time they were evenly matched. You must know that Dongwu was still slightly at a disadvantage just now. It seems that Slager has indeed consumed a lot of physical strength. Don't be too proud. Even so, you can't beat me. However, you were right about one thing. I should show my true strength. After all, Slager is old and cannot handle high-intensity fighting for too long. Therefore, he planned to make a quick decision. Let me show you my transformation into a Super Namek. After Slug finished speaking, he began to transform into a Super Namek person. In fact, it's more like a transformation than Piccolo's enlargement. However, although it is somewhat similar, it is also a little different. During the process of Slug's enlargement, his appearance changed a bit, but Piccolo did not. Ultimate chaos leads to super power. Destruction is the essence of power. You mortals will not understand. This is the essence that only we demons can understand. Slug's body became much larger and stronger than before. Even old age has improved. Slug's Super Namek transformation, which increases his strength tenfold. In an instant, Slug's combat power reached 1.5 billion. Ultimate chaos leads to super power. Dongwu didn't pay attention to Slug, but was attracted by his words. It was as if the mist in front of my eyes was pushed away in an instant, and I felt like I could see the blue sky through the clouds, and my whole body was clear. Yes, the essence of power is destruction. Even if you do good things, it is based on destruction. Moreover, whether it is a Super Saiyan or a Super Namek, they all seem to be evil and chaotic. Maybe power is not all chaos, yes, but Xuanchao Saiyan's power is absolutely chaotic. Therefore, it will swallow up people's sanity and turn Xuanchao into an irrational madman. My power is a fusion of the power of Chuanchao and Super Saiyan. Chuanchao represents chaos, and Super Saiyan represents justice and protection. Any Saiyan who wants to transform into a Super Saiyan must have a heart of justice. Is this what the Taoists say, that the lonely yin does not grow and the lonely yang does not arise? Dongwu seemed to realize for a moment that he had been too calm all along. He only wanted to prevent Chuanchao from being eroded by chaos, but he forgot that this was the essence of Chuanchao. Chaos Chuanchao, Justice Chao Sai. Harmony of yin and yang, dragon and tiger in harmony. Dongwu realized, and for a while, an astonishing change took place in his body. The arrogance around him became swaying, like fireworks in the wind. The color of the momentum also swings between white, golden yellow, grass green and golden red, referring to Super 4 Vegeta. Drink. Dongwu no longer suppressed the Chaos Chuanchao power, but also released the Chao Sai power. The chaos and invincibility of Chuanchao, the sturdiness and indomitability of Super League. The two forces are endlessly raging, but they merge and complement each other under the coordination of Tiangong Acupoint. Change it for me. Dongwu's power after activating fusion instantly filled every cell in his body. Dongwu's hair color was also set in an instant. Golden red. The red-gold hair color and the aura of gold on the inside and green on the outside make Dongwu look extremely mysterious and extraordinary. Is this the mysterious Saiyan transformation I named? It's so powerful. The power increase is more powerful than Super Saiyan and Xuanchao. Dongwu shook hands and felt the power flowing out of his body. Dongwu was so excited that he wanted to cry. This power enabled his secret transformation, but it also suppressed him for too long. He has always taken care of Dongla, but recently she has been far behind. Dongla has surpassed Super Series 2, but Dongwu has not yet been able to transform into Super Series. You can imagine the pressure on Dongwu. Now, he has finally achieved the mysterious Super Saiyan, henceforth called Secret Saiyan, transformation. The increase of 200 times directly catches up with the increase multiple of ordinary Super Saiyan 3. If it weren't for the high basic combat effectiveness of Super Saiyan 3, Dongwu could be said to dare to compete with Super Saiyan Zania. Of course, although the increase in the secret tournament is the same as that in the Super Tournament 3. However, Super Saiyan 3 has broken the limit 3 times, and its basic combat power will be much stronger than Dongwu. Dongwu cannot compete with Super Saiyan 3. However, after breaking the limit of the secret tournament, the basic combat effectiveness will soon increase. Dongwu is full of expectations. He is confident that after breaking the limit, there will be no obstacles to the Secret Tournament 2 and even the Secret Tournament 3. Slug, to thank you for letting me break my limits and transform into Super Saiyan. I will give you another chance, otherwise I will kill you. Dongwu raised his head, his scarlet pupils filled with supreme majesty. Dongwu, who transformed into the mysterious Saiyan, has a terrifying strength of 20 billion. Comparatively speaking, Slug, who only has 1.5 billion, is not enough. Dongwu did not immediately eliminate Shilage, but unfortunately Shilage was a complete bad guy and had no intention of changing at all. Is it a big deal if you change one color? I, Slug, will not be afraid of you. Shilage, who transformed into a Super Namek, was also extremely inflated and had no fear of the transformed Dongwu. In fact, this is also related to the power of Dongwu. Dongwu fuses divine power through the Tiangong acupoint and possesses most of the properties of divine power. In fact, a very important point is that the breath is restrained and not exposed. Even if the arrogance is steaming, most people can't feel the aura. Only a deliberate leak in the same god can feel it. If that's the case, then go die. Dongwu had no choice but to kill him. With Dongwu's combat power of 20 billion, he directly killed Slug in an instant. With a gap of more than 10 times, there is absolutely no possibility of fighting back. In fact, Dongwu really doesn't want to kill anyone, because any life is precious. But precisely because life is precious, Dongwu has to kill the bad guys, because only in this way can the good people be protected. At the same time, Dongwu also let go of his worries and no longer worried about the discovery of the original work. In fact, even if Dongwu has done a lot of things, he has changed a lot of people. However, Dongwu generally does not destroy things as they develop and events occur. For example, when Piccolo Daimao lifted the seal, Piccolo Daimao died, etc., he did not interfere excessively. I'm just afraid that it will ruin the plot and lead to serious consequences. However, it is completely unnecessary to think about it now. If you kill some bad guys early and nip them in the bud, you can save less losses. As soon as I bid farewell to the Great Elder, I will go and deal with the Frozen Demon clan. In addition, I will also deal with the evil people that the King of Kai said are ravaging the universe. Dongwu finally let go completely, and there was no longer any obstacle or fear in his heart. Originally, I didn't want to spoil the plot. On the one hand, I didn't want to ruin some people's opportunities. On the other hand, it also meant fear. I was afraid of Frieza when I first went out, so I trained hard. Later, fear ruined the plot and I lost the advantage of foresight, but if I was strong enough, what if I didn't know anything? In the original work, Son Goku and Vegeta didn't know the plot, so they didn't reach the pinnacle of the universe step by step. Great Elder, I killed Slug. It's time for me to say goodbye to you. Dongwu said politely to the Great Elder. I know what happened. I can know everything in Namek. You are a truly kind person. However, your transformation seems to be different from that of ordinary Super Saiyans. The Great Elder's face was full of smiles, and he said to Dongwu's kindness is a sure thing. But when it came to Dongwu's transformation, he was more serious and doubtful than ever before. You must know that the Great Elder is a rare wise man and has very rich knowledge. My transformation is a fusion of Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan. I don't really understand why this happens. Dongwu shook his head, although he knew that he had transformed into a mysterious Super Saiyan due to the power of fusion. But he doesn't know much about the mysterious Super series yet, so he can only explore slowly. The Dragon God gave us Namek the miraculous power and some magical abilities. I have some ability to predict the future, but I can't see your future at all. I hope you can solve it yourself. The Great Elder apologized. Wrote. Elder Namek has many magical abilities, such as making Dragon Ball, increasing potential, predicting the future, recovery ability, etc. He originally wanted to give Dongwu some help, but found that he could not give any advice at all. Great Elder, you don't have to be like this. I believe that as long as I work hard, there is nothing I can't overcome. Dongwu no longer attaches great importance to grasping the future. He believes that as long as he is strong enough, he will not be afraid of any challenges. It can also change any future. Nothing is set in stone, including the future. However, Dongwu is more interested in the Dragon God. In the Dragon Ball series, there is no information about the Dragon God. Even the Dragon Ball Super only mentioned the Dragon God Salama, but his abilities, image, and deeds all messages are blank. When Dongwu asked about the Dragon God's deeds, the elder also shook his head. We don't know much about Lord Dragon God. Although we are a race created by Dragon God, I don't have any records about Lord Dragon God. There is no record of the Dragon God even in Namek, so basically no one knows about the Dragon God's deeds. But one thing surprised Dongwu. The Namek people were actually created by the Dragon God. In the world of Dragon Ball, the planets are all created by Supreme Kai, but life evolves naturally. Except for mechanical races and artificial humans, no one is artificially created. Unexpectedly, the Namek people turned out to be an exception. Dongwu did not regret not getting the information from the Dragon God, after bidding farewell to the Great Elder. Under the guidance of the King of Kai, Dongwu went straight to the ancestral star of the Frozen Demon clan, the Winter Star. The Winter Star is located in the very cold central and western part of the northern galaxy. The temperature is very low all year round, and the entire planet is covered in ice and snow. From the outside, it looks like a huge ice ball. This is the ancestral land of the notorious Frozen Demon clan, the Winter Star. Speaking of the Frozen Demon clan, there really has never been a good person. Chilled, who is recorded in the records, is the famous universe pirate in universe. Although under the banner of protecting the peace of the universe, they occupy other people's planets and carry out massacres for various reasons. And his descendants Kurd, Frieza and Cooler also have the same virtue. Including the other frozen demons of the Winter Star, they are all out-and-out villains. However, the average combat power of frozen demons is only about 4 to 5 million. Because of their mutations, Kurd and Frieza have greater combat power and fame than ordinary frozen demons. Since Frieza likes watching planetary fireworks so much, let me set one off. The purpose of destroying the Winter Star is actually to avoid trouble. Although the population of frozen demons is not large, there are about 10,000. Killing one by one, no one knows how long it will take, and it is easy for fish to slip through the net. And destroyed the Winter Star, although because the frozen demons can survive in the universe, some can survive. But the number is much smaller, and it is easier to kill. Winter Star, destroy it for me. Dongwu instantly transforms into a mysterious super sailor and unleashes a full blow, Ki Blast, the shattering light killer cannon. The mysterious Super Saiyan has a combat power of 20 billion. It is too easy to destroy a planet with one blow of the crushing light kill cannon. Moreover, no one can stop it. Dongwu's crushing light cannon is not big, but it contains the power to destroy the world. The scarlet pupils are devoid of any emotion. This is Super Saiyan's absolute calm state. That was Dongwu's mysterious Super Series transformation, and there was no exception. Only when you are completely familiar with Super Saiyan can you control your emotions as you wish. Who dares to act wild in Winter Star? The appearance of Dongwu and the smashing light killer cannon were finally discovered, and the people from Winter Star roared and questioned in anger. Unfortunately, what's the use? Dongwu is here to destroy the Winter Star and eliminate the Frozen Demon clan. To him, questioning is just an added source of laughter. Too lazy to talk nonsense, he just glanced at the shattering light killing cannon, crossed his arms, closed his eyes and rested. You dare to underestimate me. The person who came was a purple-red frozen demon. Maybe the frozen demon was used to dominating. There were very few people in the universe who could fight against it, so he developed an arrogant character. Being ignored by Dongwu directly touched his sensitive nerve. Planet Destruction Bomb. This is a Qigong bomb specially designed for destruction. It has no advantage in fighting, but its destructive power is amazing. Frieza likes to blow up planets with this move. This frozen demon has a combat power of more than 3 million. If this energy bomb is aimed at the planet, then that planet will basically be doomed. Unfortunately, I chose the wrong target this time. Boom. Dongwu didn't even look at it. A random ki blast not only dispersed the destructive bombs, but also the unknown frozen demon was wiped out. Drink, and die. Destroyer. Dongwu killed an unknown frozen demon, and suddenly another frozen demon suddenly came out and wanted to make a sneak attack. Unfortunately, his anger had already betrayed him. Snapped. Dongwu blocked the sneak attack casually and raised the corner of his mouth slightly. You don't need to look at it to know who it is. In the entire Winter Star, there will be no other person besides the Kurds who has a fighting strength of 500 million. Kurd can be said to be a seriously underestimated person in the Dragon Ball world. In 7 Dragon Balls, being hit by a big special player will kill you instantly. But if this is the case, how does he dominate the Northern Galaxy? To suppress Frieza and Cooler. Moreover, if Kurd was really inferior to Frieza, Frieza would not ask him to find a place. Cold was similar to Frieza's second form when he first transformed, and some people speculated that King Cold had another transformation. This is very possible, but even if he doesn't transform, the Earth Warriors will feel that he is bigger than Frieza when he comes. It can be said that Kurd is a rather tragic character. He appears on the stage with a great appearance, and then gets his lunch in the next moment. It's the same this time. The Kurds still can't escape the fate of being killed instantly. Dongwu felt funny in his heart. People's fate is really wonderful, as if it was arranged. Piccolo's 1,000-year-old daddy, and Vegeta's incarnation as the million-year-old middle child in the Tower of Tragedy. And Kurd will inevitably be beaten out of the game. Who are you? Why do you want to destroy the Winter Star? The sneak attack was blocked. Kurd decisively stopped and asked. He is not a loser. He has been able to bend and stretch after being in the universe for so many years. Seeing that Dongwu was difficult to deal with, he wanted to suppress him rationally. Do you need a reason to destroy a planet? Dongwu looked at Kurd funny. The frozen demon actually wants to be reasonable. Is there anything funnier than this? Of course, no matter where you are, you can't escape a word of reason. How can you destroy other people's planets for no reason? Kurd said seriously, telling lies righteously, completely unaware of the growing mockery in Dongwu's eyes. Oh, so that's it. But, Dongwu deliberately prolonged the tail sound. Do you know this kind of tail? After Dongwu finished speaking, he swung his tail and slapped Kurd in the face, causing him to lose his appearance. Saiyan. Kurd was suddenly stuck. He knew he couldn't tell any more lies. He knew exactly how Saiyan became extinct and how planet Vegeta was destroyed. Now that Saiyan has come to the Winter Star and directly destroyed the Winter Star, it must be revenge. But Kurd rolled his eyes and thought of something else. I know planet Vegeta was destroyed, but that was all Frieza's doing. I have expelled him from the Frozen clan. But in order to express my apology, I am willing to give you 10 planets to make amends. Pass the blame, apologize, compensation is done in one go. If it were ordinary people, they would really believe his lies. It's a pity, how could Dongwu believe it? As for compensation, what is the use of compensation? Can the dead be resurrected? And not just one planet, but thousands. The more he sends out, the more lives and planets he kills. Needless to say, if the Winter Star is destroyed today, you will definitely die. Dongwu is too lazy to talk nonsense. You have no way to deal with such a shameless person. You can only become more disgusted as he talks. So the most direct way is to send him to hell. Kurd, pay for the lives you killed. Dongwu was too lazy to talk nonsense and punched Kurd directly in the abdomen. When Kurd bent over in pain, another knee was placed on his head, and the last swing leg kicked him away. Die, piercing light cannon. During Kurd's flight, Dongwu shot him through the heart. It can be said that in a series of attacks, the Kurds did not even have a chance to react, let alone resist. Kurd, who could withstand Dong Wu's attack, struggled for a while and then slowly closed his eyes. Kurd, you really do everything you can to survive. Others didn't know that they might be deceived, but Dong Wu knew how tenacious the frozen demon's vitality was. In the original work, Frieza was cut in half and Cooler was beaten to pieces and survived. It is conceivable that as a father, Kurd could die from this injury. In fact, Dong Wu never thought about killing him with one move. Shooting him through the body was just to torture him and let him feel the pain. However, Kurd is really too thoughtful. Since you're pretending to be dead, there's no need to get up. Smash the light-killing cannon. Dong Wu's cold voice was not loud, but it sounded like thunder in Kurd's heart. But after all, his mind was heavy and he still didn't get up. Boom. Dong Wu doesn't want to waste time anymore, other galaxies are still waiting for him. One blow shattered the light-killing cannon, making the Kurd who was pretending to be dead really die. The frozen demons who were originally hiding and peeping from a distance immediately scattered and fled when they saw the Kurds' defeat. Unfortunately, their strength and speed are far behind Dong Wu. They were caught up one by one and killed instantly with one move. The average combat power of the frozen demons is 3 to 4 million, and 5 million is considered the elite of the elite. The strongest among the three except the Kurds has a combat power of 20 million. Dong Wu was somewhat sober. Fortunately, he didn't come directly to Winter Star after saving Puo Xing, otherwise he wouldn't know how he died. After solving the frozen demon, Dong Wu followed King Kai's instructions and came to the East Galaxy via instant transmission. There is also a super villain in the East Galaxy, Kume. What he does is no different from Frieza and others, and even more evil. Frieza just massacres the humans on the planet and then sells the planet, sometimes blowing it up. Kumu, on the other hand, not only destroyed stars and people, but also used people for evil experiments and cruel torture. All kinds of perverted torture make people's scalp numb. The key is that this guy is very powerful, much stronger than Frieza. Neither King Kai nor East Kaiwang have seen this man's true strength, but he once defeated Kurd, which can prove his terror. Lord East Kaio, where is the Kumu? Dong Wu sent a message to East Kaio. Higashi Kaio is the only female Kaio among the 4 Kaio, and her favorite thing is racing. His current coordinates are XXXYYY. You must be careful, this person is very strong. Dong Kaiwang told Dong Wu the coordinates. But because she didn't understand Dong Wu's strength nor Kumu's strength, she still warned Dong Wu to be careful. She was worried that Dong Wu was no match for Kumu, so not only would he not be able to eliminate Kumu, but he would also lose a righteous super soldier. Don't worry, Lord Kaio, even if I am not your opponent, I will not be killed. Dong Wu said confidently. Although he didn't think he was no match for Kumu, he was still very careful. After all, no one knew whether it was a hidden old monster. But as Dong Wu said, with time distortion and instant transmission, few people can catch him if he wants to escape. Dong Wu's instant transmission requires sensing energy to move, so even though he knows the coordinates, he still has to take a spaceship. The location of the library is almost in the center of the Eastern Galaxy, and it takes Dong Wu almost 3 months to take the spaceship. Dong Wu has not been idle during this period, and has been studying methods to break through the 9th level of Longxiang Boruo Gong. Although it is said that Longxiang Boruo Gong does not require understanding or qualifications, it can be practiced as long as there is enough time. But good qualifications and understanding will speed up the process. After research, Dong Wu found that the step-by-step practice of Longxiang Boruo Gong, although it seemed to be just a physical practice, opened the acupoints unknowingly. However, this speed is very slow, more than 100 times slower than active activation. No wonder no one in ancient Tubo, now Tibet, cultivated beyond the 8th level. Dong Wu murmured to himself. The reason why Dong Wu said this is because ancient Tubo did not have acupoint theory, and their cultivation also talked about the 3 meridians and 7 chakras. I have no idea about acupuncture points. Therefore, after reaching the 8th level, it is almost impossible to continue because they do not know how to actively attack acupuncture points. As for why no one has mastered it since it was introduced to the Central Plains, one is that it is too time-consuming and no one has practiced it. The other is that the time is too close to modern times, and there is no environment for practicing martial arts. Another thing is that Longxiang Boruo Gong has its own set of theories, and most people don't dare to change the practice method casually. Dongwu, on the other hand, dared to try because in the Dragon Ball world, a fairy bean could cure serious injuries. 3 months later, when they arrived at their destination, Dongwu opened another 42 acupuncture points, and 30 more acupuncture points could form the earthly evil perfection. At that time, if Tiangong and Earth are able to be united again to form a perfect world, it will be the 10th level of perfection. Is this Kumu's home base, Kumu Star? Dongwu couldn't believe his eyes when he looked at the lush trees, elegant city and clean streets of Kumu Star. As a supervillain, shouldn't the place he lives in be spooky? But soon Dongwu's color changed, because except for a few weak auras and a huge evil aura, he didn't sense any other life. That evil spirit should be Kumu, and those dying creatures should be the victims he captured for experiments. In other words, this seemingly prosperous planet actually has only a few dozen creatures. Moreover, except for himself, everyone else is his experiment. How could there be such evil creatures and evil minds in the universe? Dongwu simply couldn't understand how such pure evil could exist. It is understandable to fight for survival in the universe, but it is incomprehensible to continuously massacre people on other planets to occupy planets, and the occupied planets are not used by oneself. Kumu, come out and die. Dongwu instantly exploded with the strongest combat power, 230 million combat power. That's right, Dongwu's normal combat effectiveness has increased explosively during this period since breaking the shackles. It has more than doubled in just a few months. Who is here to die again? Kumu was not to be outdone and flew from the planet not far from Dongwu in an instant. Kumu didn't pay attention to Dongwu's combat power at all. A combat power of more than 200 million was nothing at all. Hundreds of years ago, he defeated the Kurds, who had a combat power of 200 million. Over the past few hundred years, Kumu's combat power has increased a lot. 230 million. In his opinion, it was just to give him early materials. Are you Kumu? Dongwu looked at Kumu and asked. One thing makes Dongwu very puzzled. Why does this Kumu resemble Kurdish people? But there is a big difference. Kurd is a standard frozen demon, while Kumu is a bit like a frozen demon, but has 3 eyes and 4 hands, and his skin is not mainly purple and white, but mainly green with a small amount of pink. What's more, he has no tail. You must know that all frozen demons have tails. So Dongwu was very curious about what kind of creature this was. Yes, I am Kumu. Ever since I defeated the Kurd guy, no one has dared to challenge me for many years. You are quite courageous. Kumu looked at Dongwu with a mocking expression on his face. However, with a combat power of more than 200 million, it is not bad in the universe. Kume licked his lips with a hint of desire. Such good experimental materials are not common. There are too few people with hundreds of millions of fighting abilities in the universe, and he has never encountered one even if he wants to capture them. Kurd, do you know the North Galaxy frozen demon Kurd? Dongwu was stunned for a moment, and then suddenly realized. No wonder Kurd rarely leaves the Winter Star, and he only fights in the Northern Galaxy but never expands to the Eastern Galaxy. It turned out that he had been defeated before. Of course we know each other, we are still brothers after all. Kumu smiled evilly. What, you are actually brothers? Can't the frozen demon only have one offspring? Dongwu was confused again, and the two of them didn't look alike. In fact, this Kumu didn't even look like the frozen demon at all. How come he and Kurd are brothers? In principle, that's the case, but if you humans have identical twins, why don't we freeze demons? Kumu raised the corner of his eye and said slyly. Dongwu understood immediately. It turned out that he and Kurd were two people formed by the division of the reproductive cells of a frozen demon. This is the same as the formation of identical twins. Identical twins are one fertilized egg that split into 2 individuals due to some special reasons during the development process, and then each developed into a completely new and complete human individual. In fact, the 2 people were originally the same person, and their genetic chromosomes were exactly the same. If the child of one twin is matched with the other during a paternity test, the conclusion is that they are biological parents. Because their genetic material is identical, this is where paternity testing is inaccurate. However, Dongwu still doesn't understand why there is such a big difference in appearance since Kumu and Kurd are identical twins. So I asked Kumu a question. I don't know if Kumu often does abnormal experiments, and he has become a little nervous, and he actually told Dongwu. This is all thanks to Kurd. We were just ordinary frozen tribesmen at the beginning, but by chance we mutated at the same time. As a result, our strength increased day by day, far exceeding that of other tribesmen. At this time, Kurd's ambition was exposed when he came out. He wanted to be king. And I became a stumbling block and a thorn in his side. After saying this, Kumu's expression became very excited and his mood was very unstable. It took a long time to calm down, and Dongwu also waited quietly. The shameless Kurds attacked me and wanted to kill me. But I still escaped and then fled all the way to Dongyin. But he still refused to let me go and chased me to Dongyin. But there is no end to the road. By chance, an evil scientist rescued me and conducted cruel experiments and transformation on me. After that, my strength increased greatly and I defeated the Kurds. Then I killed the scientist who transformed me and slaughtered his entire family. Race. When Kumu said this, he felt a sense of joy in having a great revenge, and even more so, a sense of domineering self-centeredness. So, this planet is the home planet of the original scientist, right? Then you continued to experiment and transform in order to become more powerful. That's why you are now. Dongwu completely understood. This is a Brother Xiao Chang drama. However, he was lucky enough to survive and defeated the Kurds. Out of revenge and a desire to become stronger, he carried out brutal killings and inhumane transformation experiments. In this process, the central nature becomes more and more cruel and perverted, and the supervillain Kumu is born. That's right. When I complete the final experiment, I will return to the North Galaxy and personally calculate the accounts with the Kurds over the past few hundred years. Ha ha ha, now you are here. If you are really sleepy, just give me a pillow. Yes, with you as my guinea pig, my experiment can be completed. Come on, become my guinea pig. Kumu's happy laughter felt like the fulfillment of a long-cherished wish. Dongwu looked at Kumu, who seemed to have everything under control, and a mysterious smile appeared on his lips. You don't have to go back to Bayin to seek revenge from Kurd, because he is already dead. As for you want to use me for experiments, then it depends on your ability. What did you say? You said Kurd is dead. Did he die in your hands? Kumu was stunned for a moment, then looked at Dongwu coldly. Do you know that he should have died in my hands? How dare you destroy it? You deserve to die for my revenge plan. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.